It's what? Yeah. Nice. Hey. It's a good one. uh, like he got hit by hentai tentacle. Oh yeah. Great. Boy, I'm glad I'm not a fan of Assassin's Creed anymore because watching the drama from the outside has been hilarious. Oh boy. The most fun is going through the Wikipedia edits page. Yes, they have. Dude, freaking Ubisoft shills have been trying to edit the page, and then people have been saying, "Wait, no, stop, dude, don't do that." And then of course you have people on the other side who are like, "No," trying to edit the page as well. So of course it's just there's so many parts on the edits page where it's like one of the first comments has like five parts right at the beginning, where it's like personal attack removed, personal attack removed, personal attack removed. But hey, I learned a whole lot about Yasuke thanks to this. So yeah, they're learning new things. And mainly, what I learned was that we really don't know a lot about the guy. We really don't know. Don't know much. He was in Japan for like 3 years. He was in Japan for like 3 years. He was really tall and apparently very strong. Nobunaga liked him, or at least thought he was interesting. Then after 3 years, he was banished. Oh boy. Oh my gosh, it's still going on. Oh man. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Ubisoft is releasing a new Assassin's Creed game, and when they finally go to Japan, they decide to break all their previous traditions and have an actual historical figure who is not Japanese. Is it a It's certainly a choice. Is it a weird choice? Yeah. It's a weird choice when the entire series yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a soulless company. They're like, we can get points from the investors if we do if we have a black samurai on the cover, then the investors will give us money, and then maybe people will forget about how we sexually abuse women in our workplace. But just like with Blizzard, we're not forgetting. Yeah, yeah, yes. I think it'd be really cool if he was like the Leonardo da Vinci of the game. Because, like, for the whole series, you have your main characters are fictional characters who interact with historical characters. That's one of the appeals. You have your cool hero man Ezio Auditore da Firenze, but then you also have Leonardo da Vinci. You got the freaking dang it, what are the villains' names? It's the Borgias. You got the Borgias. You got Machiavelli and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Neo, the one made by Japanese people. Oh yeah, yeah. He's cool. Yeah. No. What artistic integrity? Artistic integrity in Assassin's Creed? In modern Assassin's Creed? Although apparently this is going to be the last big RPG Assassin's Creed. Yeah, same. That's why it's so much fun to just look at this because I don't care about the big RPG Assassin's Creeds. That's fair. I enjoy Unity. I went back to Unity again, and it's I like them. I like the movement. I like the gameplay. But oh my gosh, this game is bloated as crap. That map is just hideous to look at. It's different. It's very different. It gives you more control, but you have to kind of figure it out. No. No, good lord, no. It's an Ubisoft game. They'll over tutorialize the crap out of you on everything except the main combat. Yeah. Yeah. When you learn how to herd the cat, it's great, but you have to learn how to herd the cat. And yeah. Fair. Yep. I do enjoy Mirage. Mirage is fun. It's also only $40. Dude, I looked at like was it an I think it was an Assassin's Creed game I saw on sale on Steam, and I looked at it and it was like still full price, even though it's been out for like 10 years. It's Ubisoft. Oh, speaking of freaking $120 versions, did you see Ubisoft's offering a subscription for the new Assassin's Creed? Yes. Yes. There we go. Awesome. Jordan agrees with us on Assassin's Creed. Awesome. Yeah, Jordan. Because it's hilarious when you look through the edits and the comments for the edits, and they yeah, it's fun if you don't care about the game. It's really funny to watch the comments just get edited in real time as people go in and remove just insults and remove entire comments for being offensive. People are getting mad about this. They're getting real weird about it. I mean, throughout this whole thing, I've learned a lot about Yasuke, which is really cool. Really cool. And the main thing I've learned is that we don't know a lot about the guy because there's not a lot of historical documentation about him. We know because Mitchell, they know. You don't understand. We got to get big mad about big corpo game that is obviously just greedy, and they're using the controversy to hide the fact that they're adding in a subscription service and cutting content out of the game to add to the ultimate $120 edition. Well, see, they purposely break series tradition so that in the game that people have been asking for decades, after people have stopped caring about that game, so that you focus on the controversy instead of the $120 edition. Isn't it great? Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The big story. Well, there's two big stories. The biggest story is that this is all covering up the freaking subscription model and $120 definitive edition of the game that has content that was just ripped out of the game and shoved into that. The other big controversy is that boy, Ubisoft is trying to revise history. Isn't that great? They have such a good track record. They have such a good track record. I'm so shocked that Ubisoft of all companies would try to pull something like this. I'm so shocked that they would try to, hide their $120 definitive edition behind a controversy. Hey man, if you're mad about the Black Samurai and Assassin's Creed, then you're no longer mad about the sexual assault going on in the Ubisoft offices. I think with how much they've broken series tradition with this one, I don't think people are going to say we're going to retroactively say, oh, we were always fine with that. But then again, nobody cared. No, everyone loved Bayek in Origins, so ass Creed, ass ins Creed. Aaron, have you seen the edits page on the Wikipedia page for Yasuke, the famous little known about Black Samurai? Oh boy, have you seen that the edits are still happening today? I'm so glad that the historical debate about Yasuke was interrupted by a freaking Ubisoft game. The calm historical debate that's been going on for decades has now risen into and burst into a giant inferno because of a stupid Ubisoft game where they have a $120 definitive edition that has content ripped out of the game, but you can get all that content for $18 a month. Yeah, they have a subscription model, so you can get all the content for the game for $18 a month. there is another protagonist. There is another protagonist. She has been completely forgotten in all of this because. although although I did see that Famitsu had a paragraph in their article on the game where an Ubisoft dead said specifically, yeah, we wanted to have a non-Japanese person for the main character of this game. One of the two main characters, yes. Isn't it great? Isn't it great when when the big AAA corpos just stir up the pot and everyone takes the bait? I'm sitting here just watching it burn because I stopped caring about Assassin's Creed. We all have basically the same reaction, but or the same thought about the whole matter, the same conclusion that this is just a bunch of mirrors and shadows. This is a bunch of mirrors and shadows to cover up how greedy and scummy this game is. But me and Mitchell's emotional reaction is, "Ooh, let's enjoy the crap show," and Jordan's just tired of it all. Beautiful. Remember that time when Fabio when Fabio got hit by a seagull on a roller coaster? Yeah, yeah, he a freaking seagull flew into his face while he was on a roller coaster. So then they threw ballistic gel seagulls at a Fabio head. Very true. He had all the ladies going after him. At least all the ladies who read romance novels, which is middle-aged women, middle-aged wine moms. Dude, oh gosh, I saw an article and it was like, yeah, books do not sell. There's some books that sell like a dozen copies. Romance mystery, and then the tentpole authors are keeping everything alive. It's no wonder that the freaking what was the company? One of the publishing houses went in front of Congress and said that Brandon Sanderson is a threat to our industry. Can't have that. No, that's ridiculous. I can't stand that. Wait a wait a minute. Wait, hold on. He's selling his own books without us. Oh no. He's demanding that Audible give authors a more fair pay. And he actually did get change done. Like Audible has changed their policy and it's better for authors. Not where he wants it to be, but he's like, yeah, this is good enough that I'll put the secret projects on Audible. Yeah, awesome. can't knock them because I wish I had romance. Ooh. It did. It did. But dude, Barnes & Noble has changed. Barnes & Noble is actually pretty nice now. Goes back and forth. Is it a hero? Is it a villain? Barnes & Noble. Yeah. Oh yeah, local bookstores still exist. They're just very small. Or your local bookstore, if you know where they are, you can find them. But just send an email to Brandon, tell him I'm trying to start a new bookstore, and give me the books. No. Can't believe you do this. Okay. Oh. Yar. Yar har fiddle-dee-dee. I will say though, as someone who just moved and had to move a ton of books, yeah. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, behold my shelf. My shelf, dude, that is one of my 2 shelves. And those books were the biggest pain to get over. It's worth it, but oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, well, we are already in, so we're in the pre-show. No, 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 we're in the pre-show. We're on the pre-show. We're going into the intro now. They still can't hear us. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends will sponsor anybody.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. Raid Shadow Legends.
Why? Are you
It's the best game.
Are you telling me their
Best game.
business model is failing?
What is this? 2018? I haven't seen a single Raid Shadow Legends ad in like a year and a half.
Tell me they
And
ran out of money after they just blew it all on sponsorship deals?
They had to they blew it all on the CG for Death Knight, and now they can't reach their loss.
You tell me that their game is so bad nobody wants to play it, so they stop making money?
Oh, mobile games. Oh, mobile games.
It's sad when games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail are actually some of the only decent mobile games.
It's like, and I will never touch them. I like having money in my account.
Don't do that, Mitchell. I can already tell you, don't.
Okay.
I have touched both. Genshin is it's fine, but it's like Breath of the Wild stuff. So I'm not all interested. Honkai is a decent JRPG.
It's Persona.
Persona.
Don't you all love Persona?
I do
Why don't
like
you
Persona.
I don't know. I do like Persona.
play Star
Uh-oh.
Rail?
Go play Star Rail.
They're on a
No,
train.
but didn't you hear there were?
You're on a train in space.
No, but didn't you hear they're actually making a Persona 5 gotcha game?
Oh,
Oh no. Well, hey, whatever brings in money.
It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing since Fan of Thieves. Shout out.
It's not even a Persona gotcha game. It's specifically Persona 5.
Yeah,
of course.
because there's no
Mm.
other Persona games. What are you
Well,
talking
hey, no, that gives them a chance to do events where they have the Persona 4 and Persona 3 characters grown up, aged up.
Where's P5 Fighters? Where's P5 Arena?
I wish.
Where is it?
They
I
made a
wish.
P5 fighter.
Yeah,
They
P5
did?
I mean-
well, P5 Strikers.
Oh,
but that's,
Strikers.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's different.
Rikers.
Yeah.
P5
That's-
Arena,
Unless you
though.
mean they make a platform fighter. Where's my P5 platform fighter?
Okay, honestly,
Sure.
I know you're joking.
Sure,
I
I'll
give
take
it a try. I give it a try.
Just get,
Rivals 2 isn't
just-
coming out for a while.
just
I'd give it a shot.
Rip Joker's move list from Smash. Just rip it wholesale.
They got Dan from Rivals to work on P5 platform. P5P. That's it.
P5P.
Persona 5 platform.
Is that like P3P? Persona 3 Portable? No.
No.
No,
the
P5's
PC
not coming to
platform.
Switch. The Switch has the direct sequel to Persona 5, Persona 5 Strikers, but it doesn't have Persona 5.
No. Wait, I thought it does now.
I don't think so. It has Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Portable. The awful port of Persona 3 Portable.
Did Persona 5 Royal is on Switch.
It is.
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
cool.
specifically Royal.
Specifically Royal.
Well,
yes.
Royal's the best version.
Well, now I'm not gonna play it.
Well, I mean, it's just Persona 5, but more stuff to do.
Well, no, it's Persona 5.
And I
but
have been.
there's more stuff, there's more content, but there's also more freedom. You don't have Morgana yelling at you to go to bed every night.
But what if that's my favorite part?
Well,
Because
then-
I'm like, wow.
Well, then
that's
you'll
so
be
real.
wrong.
That's so real of you, Morgana.
well, then go play the original.
well, fine. I'll do that then.
Nobody's
Persona
stopping
5
you.
Royal, it added new things, and I've been ignoring all the new things.
Yeah, that's right. You better not stop me. You better not stop me from playing P5 original.
Yeah, Mitchell. Mitchell, please tell me. Before we get going on weeks, how much time have you been spending with the frickin' goth nurse?
Oh no.
I would like to plead the fifth at this point. Listen, I didn't come here to be personally attacked. And also, I fucked up and I didn't get the romance route.
Oof.
Oh,
I messed it up and didn't realize until after I did a palace, and I'm like, I don't want to fight the boss again.
That's
So
fair.
I
It's
just-
okay. That just
fair.
means you believe in the age of consent.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, yeah.
Well, don't worry. You still have the teacher. You still have the teacher.
Oh
Don't do it.
God.
I've
do it.
been.
It's still that option is still open. You can make Kenji proud. Fulfill his dream.
It's like, there's always New Game Plus. So I can just romance everyone in New Game Plus.
That's true, you can, and then
There
you
you
can
go.
get to Valentine's Day and have everyone show up wanting to give you a chocolate, and they all get mad at you.
Mm-hmm. And then somehow Sojiro comes back and is like, "Don't worry, I worked it all out. I somehow managed to work it all out." And it's like, how?
Sojiro is magic. That's why. Man is
Sojiro secretly has his own persona that can
Sojiro
rewrite memories
Sojiro is a bard. He's got that 20 charisma.
somehow. Yeah, no, I could not do a harem route again. Not after Persona 3. I can't. Never again.
When you were forced to do a harem route.
Forced at gunpoint to do the harem route. I can't.
Well, now
Never
in
again.
Reload, you are no longer forced to do a harem route.
Oh, thank God.
my brother beat Reload, P3 Reload.
Hey,
Absolutely
congrats
loved
to
it.
him.
Absolutely loved it because Persona 3 is fantastic.
Yep.
And he got to the ending and he texted me and he was like, "Oh my gosh, the ending was so good." And then like a little bit later he called me because he just had to talk about it. The ending of Persona 3 is so freaking good.
I guess he burned his dread. He
Did
burned
burn
his
his-
bread. My bad.
Yeah, he did burn his bread. Well, they changed the soundtrack got a remix, so I don't know if they say "burn my bread" anymore.
I don't know.
I mean, they replaced some of the vocals. I mean, when you go to Iwatodai Dorm, it's no longer the one guy rapping; it's Lotus Juice.
Well, I actually have no. I just know a couple of the songs. I know "Baby, Baby, Baby, Baby" and "Burn My Bread." That's it. That's all I know.
That's all.
There's
you
more
need to
songs
know.
in Persona. There's more
I
songs.
can't say that. I was saying that's all you need to know, but no, Persona 3
Oh,
soundtrack
great,
is
cool.
so good.
I'll skip Persona 3 then.
No.
Cool. Yeah.
No. Persona 3 is so good.
All I need to know. Great. Mhm.
No. Reload is a very good remake from everything I have heard and seen. Unfortunately, it's still not complete. It's the definitive version of base Persona 3, but there's still only one way to play the female protagonist playthrough. That's to play Persona 3 Portable.
Well,
But don't worry, they're adding the answer as DLC, so you too can feel like you actually want to blow your brains out.
I'll take your word for it.
And now this video is age restricted.
Ooh, womp.
Fine. The sponsors will take care of the lost revenue.
Gang, I keep saying boo womp. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I keep thinking of the stupid Metal Gear Rising, the Doctor, turn off my boo womp inhibitor. That's all I think about sometimes. It's just automatic sometimes. Just I should really fix that.
Yeah, you probably should. Oh man. Anyway, welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Talk the Plank. We occasionally talk in plank.
Yep.
This does in fact happen sometimes. I can confirm.
Yes.
I'm lying flat right now. I'm planking right now.
Whoa!
You didn't even know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yep.
Planking.
It took me 5 minutes to figure out where Steam puts my screenshots.
Oh boy, I can't wait to. Hold on. Of course, Mitchell. Mitchell. You say you don't want to be humiliated or attacked on this stream, and yet you show stuff like that.
I have no shame, honestly. It's like, I don't care. It's like, I'm into goth girls, don't you judge me.
It's so common I can't judge you even if I don't particularly get the appeal. Anyways, Aaron, have you had a week or more since we last
3 or
talked?
5.
It has been a
3 or 5.
couple of weeks since the last time we talked. I can confirm this. It is real. Sorry, 1 second. I'm looking up. There's a book I was trying to look up that I read. I can't remember the name. Gosh darn it. Give me like 5 seconds.
Right.
Well, so real quick for 5 seconds, what do you think about the socioeconomic situation in Bengal?
I have no real strong opinions.
Ooh, we got a fence
I
set.
think it's base Chad Sigma pilled. I don't know. It's real skivity. Okay, I found it.
Oh, jeez.
Um,
I want
I
to
saw it.
die.
I saw a tweet the other day that was like, I know I'm old because when I first heard Skibbity, I didn't think of Skibbity toilet. My first thought was the Skibbity button done up. He was onto something.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It took me a bit
Yep.
before I thought it was. Oh man.
Oh boy.
Anyway, I'll jump into what I watched first. So going all the way back to the last time we had the podcast. I saw the first Omen. First, I think I saw it like right after we finished our podcast. Prequel to the Omen movie series about the Antichrist being born and doing bad stuff. This is about how he was conceived, and it was a pretty good movie. I haven't seen any of the original Omen movies, but I have to imagine it's probably better than all of them. Because I don't imagine they're particularly good movies, but this was a pretty slick sequel, I gotta say. Um, After that, I started watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine with me
Ooh.
and my girlfriend, and all our friends. We get together at our friend's house, and we sit down and we watch some episodes. That happens every Tuesday, and we've been doing that for a little over a month now. I think like 5 6 weeks, something like that. Um, that's a great freaking show. Like holy crap! Like
Ooh.
beginning to end, that show is just absolutely fantastic. Which looking at Star Trek Discovery makes me so disappointed because like DS9 is so cerebral, whereas if you've seen trailers for like Star Trek Discovery, it's like action, 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 and it's like, gosh darn, I just want people to talk about their feelings.
Have you seen any of the
Uh,
earlier Star Trek series? How does it compare to?
I have not. No, my girlfriend. So before they started watching DS9, they watched The Next Generation,
Mhm.
and my girlfriend is currently watching the original series with one of the friends from our group, and
All right.
yeah, and so it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen anything besides Deep Space Nine, but my girlfriend seems to be liking Deep Space Nine so far. So I'm guessing she thinks it stacks up pretty well to um, that.
Fair
Um,
enough.
yeah, but DS9 really, really, really good show. Even if you don't have a background in Trek, it's just like characters are just like so much fun. There's so many just great character interactions like between forget their names. There's like this like greedy alien shopkeeper um who like runs a bar because it all takes place in a space station called Deep Space Nine, and
Mhm.
he runs a bar on the space station. He's like greedy and like sort of slimy, but he's got a heart
He's
of
a
gold.
Ferengi.
Ferengi, that's it. Yeah. And have you guys seen Deep Space Nine?
No, I just know a little too much about Star Trek.
Okay,
I have watched a
but
few
yeah,
episodes of the original series.
okay. Yeah, he's like a scumbag with a heart of gold, basically, and he's constantly getting into fights with like the security officer of the station, who basically he's like this cold, just like calculating, like sort of hard ass, and their interactions are just easily the best when they're both on screen. Um, Absolutely adore all the different character interactions in this show. That's really where this show shines, is all the characters. But yeah, my first experience with Star Trek, and I am loving it. Next, I saw Monkey Man with Dev Patel. That movie is exceptional.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, absolutely, just utterly fantastic. Fantastic narrative arc from beginning to end. Fantastic fight choreography. Great um, build up, message, everything. It's just really a beautiful movie. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I think Dev Patel absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. I don't really see a whole lot of issues with it. Um, yeah, really enjoyed it. I would recommend. I don't think it's out in theaters anymore, but you can watch it streaming probably. Um, TV. I watched Shogun on FX. Really good show. Just remarkably respectful to Japanese culture. Um, kind of like a decolonizing narrative about a sort of a racist white dude who comes to Japan and gets like kidnapped or like gets taken prisoner, and he sort of learns to acclimate and become a part of Japanese society. It's just such a good show with just such an excellent cast. Yeah, and there's so many times in that show where I was like, man, Japan like really did that. That was kind of messed up. Like it's kind of messed up that Japan did that.
I only know one
Um,
thing from that show, and it's just the rawest thing I've ever heard. I was like, oh my god, they were seriously on that back in that day. Jeez.
Dude, like you would not believe.
I need to pick this show
It's
up.
like
Everybody says it's so good.
I don't want to give away any spoilers, but there's this one part of the show where it's like, oh yeah, that's just a thing they did, I guess. Like that's
Yep.
just like something that was just, oh yeah, it happens, it's whatever. And it's like, wait a minute, no, hold on a second.
Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa.
Wait.
But that show is absolutely great. I'd recommend checking it out. It's on FX or on Hulu because Hulu is owned by FX. Fallout. I've been watching the Fallout series. Really freaking good. If you have not already started watching it or finished it, do so because it is really freaking good. Made a lot of people very upset in the most online portion of online because of a chalkboard that decanonized something. But then they came out and said it didn't decanonize something. And there was like discourse that was going on for forever, and it was wild. That show is awesome. Such an exceptional television program. Next, back to movies. I watched Abigail, um, which is the movie about Dracula's daughter kidnaps a bunch of peeps and traps them in a mansion and starts like uh, hunting them for sport. Yeah, the moral of that movie is murder is okay if you have daddy issues.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, murder apparently it's like, oh yeah, I'm a mass murderer, but I have daddy issues, so it's okay, I guess.
He's just working through
But yeah,
everything, okay? It's fine.
exactly.
Just gotta be patient.
TV show. Yes, exactly. Star Trek Lower Decks. I watched a couple episodes with my girlfriend because we were watching that while we were waiting for Peeps to get over so we could watch some Deep Space Nine. She's already seen the series, but she wanted to, she put on a couple of the good episodes, and yeah, that is actually a really good show. That surprised me. I thought it was going to be like another adult animated fail comedy, but it's actually really clever and creative. Yeah, that one's good. I think you should probably, if you like Star Trek, check out Star Trek Lower Decks. I think it's worth.
Hmm.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Oh,
Okay, guys.
Oh boy.
okay.
You got to hear me out, all right?
Oh
Alright.
no. Oh no.
You gotta hear me out on this one, all right?
Watching.
Okay, so my there's a YouTuber I follow. His name's Atriot, and great streamer, great YouTuber. Love him to death. He's like a marketer and he does marketing stuff. And he's like, oh, there's this show and it takes up a third of all Disney Plus traffic. And I had heard of the show before and I'm like, okay, well, a lot of people are saying it's pretty decent and it has a pretty big adult following. So I may as well, I'll check out the first few episodes.
Oh
to
no.
see how
Oh no. I know
Gentlemen,
it.
this is the story of how I started watching Bluey.
Do it. I do it.
Okay, in
Interesting.
my defense, I literally only watched like the first 3 episodes and then I stopped. But even then, it's a little creative. It's a little clever creative show. Like, I mean, I can see it's obviously not for me, but if you're a parent of a young child, I can imagine sitting down and watching this and being like, "Dang, that was pretty darn good."
Oh, yeah, that's the one I
And
hear all the time. It's like parents are like, I don't
oh
really
yeah,
like my kids watching TV, but we'll watch Bluey.
oh yeah, it literally takes up a third of all Disney Plus. It is like the only thing right now keeping Disney Plus afloat. Um, literally. Um,
What about
and
X-Men?
basic.
We'll
We
get
spent
there.
so
X
much
Men
money on
'97
Star
probably.
Wars.
I've heard X Men '97 is just it literally probably the best thing Marvel has done in
Oh,
years, from
we'll get there.
what I've heard.
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, we'll
Oh.
get there.
But
We'll get
but
there.
the Marvel and the Star Wars, they're gonna hold it up. They're gonna save Disney.
They're gonna. It's gonna blow up, bro. Just one more Star Wars movie, bro. Just one
Please,
more
just
Star
one
Wars
more
Star Wars
TV,
series,
bro.
man.
Just one more
Just
Marvel
one more.
show. Just one more Marvel
Just one
show.
more.
This is gonna connect to the main series and everything.
Guys, if we throw in the reference to Rebels, they'll watch it, guys. Come on. Guys, just throw a Glorp Shadow.
So yeah, Blue is pretty good. It's also fine tuned for the Gen Alpha brain because each episode's 7 minutes long. So it's like,
what?
oh yeah, it's like,
Oh,
yeah, this. If you have an incredibly short attention span, I could see like a literal child, I could see really liking this show. Um, but yeah, Bluey's pretty good. Check it out, I guess. Um, movies, Challengers. I saw Challengers. That's a great movie.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that
yeah.
is a great movie.
They're challenging for
That means-
Zendaya. Yeah.
Zendaya did really good in that movie. Actually, I think she did. I think she did a killer job. I loved her. I loved her in that. She was so good. Man, those two lead actors, man, that they were just waiting to just like bone down so hard. The whole movie, it's palpable. You can cut it with a knife, like straight up. They're eating churros in front of each other. They're sitting in saunas together, like that. They're making they get tricked into making out by Zendaya and they like it. Like this movie is wild. Genuinely, this movie is wild. Um, but it's also really good. Check it out. I imagine it's probably going to be at the Academy Awards because I really love Zendaya and it's a decent film. Yeah, I like Challengers. Saw two plays. I saw Dial M for Murder with my girlfriend, which is an adaptation of Hitchcock's film Dial M for Murder, which is an adaptation of a book called Dial M for Murder. So,
Wow.
oh wait, never mind. Sorry, Dial M for Murder is originally a play. I believe it's an adaptation of the original play. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Yeah, Dial M for Murder, really, really good. Broadly speaking, it's about a guy who wants to have his wife killed because he hates her. And so he basically tricks like an old like skeezy guy he knew back in college into like he basically blackmails him into murdering his wife, but it goes horribly wrong, and he basically has to cover his tracks after the fact. It's like very, very cerebral, very, very like the husband's like has everything planned out to a T, and he's an exceptional improviser, and it's wild. Absolutely fantastic play. Loved it from beginning to end. Just so good. Yeah, that was really good. I also saw a production of Cinderella. Um, my
Which one?
my girlfriend, she has a what should one call it? A stage. Yeah, actually, that's a good question. What the heck do you call a theater? Why did I suddenly forget the word theater? She has a theater, like a community theater near her house, and they occasionally they have a main sort of troupe that runs in the on season for their plays, but in the off season they will invite other acting troupes from acting studios to come and perform for them. Most of the time, it's adult actors, but the Cinderella one we saw was performed by children and teens, and it was a ton of fun. I mean, obviously the kids aren't going to be winning any Tonys anytime soon, but
Not with that attitude.
they were performing their hearts out, and I absolutely loved it beginning to end. Like, there's this one little girl that she couldn't have been like more than like 8, and she was killing it, man. Like she was like she played like 3 different roles. She was like a mail carrier. She was like a soldier, and she did something else, and she was killing it, man. She's got a future in the industry. I'm telling you.
Was it the Rogers and Hammerstein Cinderella?
I have no idea.
Ah, dang it.
I have the pamphlet somewhere. It's just gonna take me a while to find it.
Eh.
But yeah, so it was very good. It was very good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Movies. Watched The Fall Guy with my boy Ryan Gosling.
I gotta ask,
You gotta love him.
how is
Ryan
it? I
Gosling.
wanted to see it.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. I mean, if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, it kind of falls apart, but it's just fun. It's just fun. You're gonna have a good time. Um, Ryan Gosling is just so good in that role. He's so clever and funny. I love him. I just love everything Ryan Gosling's in. I've never been disappointed by a Ryan Gosling movie. Also saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That was a good movie. Not as good as the last trilogy, because apparently this is the beginning of a new trilogy. And yeah, this one wasn't as good as the Caesar movies, but it still stood on its own. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I would recommend seeing that if you like big blockbuster type CG fest. Um, yeah. Okay, funny story. Um, so I've only ever walked out of one movie in my life, and that is a I showed up to watch an anime movie. I think it was I Want to Eat Your Kidney or something like that. And I walk in and I sit down, and the movie starts playing, and it's dubbed. And so I'm like, And so I literally left the movie theater and went home. That is not a joke. I did that. I saw it was dubbed, and I said, I'm no filthy dub watcher. And so
Oh,
I just
no.
went home.
Oh
Well,
no.
luckily, another movie, just this past Wednesday had the honor of being my second ever movie to have walked out of, which
Oh.
is the feeling that the time for doing something has passed. I went in expecting, okay, I literally said to myself, if I go into this movie and it's some slow, artsy nonsense that's like way too up its own ass and it's like super pretentious, I'm going to be so upset and I'm going to walk out of the theater. And I walk into the
Aaron, would you
movie
mind
and
reminding me what the title was again?
the, the
Would you like to
feeling
bring that
that the
back?
time for doing something has passed.
Is this
And
one
what
next
did
week,
you
guy?
think that was gonna be?
Listen, I thought there was going to be action, car chases. I thought that there was going to be some mega violence. I thought it was going to be a great time.
Everything everywhere
Listen,
all
all
at
I
once
know
has ruined.
is that
has
my tiny
lowered your
3-screen
guard.
theater
Just
here in
ruined
town
movie titles.
did not show that movie.
It's tricked you. It's lowered your guard.
No, it's literally we're being infected by the manga titling. Now we're just gonna have the full movie description in the titles going forward. But no,
Can't wait for light
yeah,
novel titles.
it is a movie about a woman who has a bad life that she's wasting away in like an office job, but she also is submissive to uh, she does like BDSM with this older guy, and like the movie is half split between like here she is doing random things in the office, and oh, here she is getting bossed around by this dominant man, and it's like what? This isn't a movie. There's no plot. It's just scenes, and it's like look, if I'm in the right mood for like a good art house film, I will watch it a bazillion times. I love it. But there's a point past which you have to give me something. You have to give me something to latch onto, and this movie simply did not. I sat down, I watched it, and I watched like 15 minutes of it. I literally sat there for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, maybe like there'll be plot or something, and then there just wasn't. So I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. But yeah, so at least I got like an icy and some Sour Patch Kids out of it, so that was pretty sick, I guess.
I wish I had that outlook of worth it. That's such a...
Now I'm thinking of what would be the light novel or manga title for certain movies, for like classic movies.
Oh my
Well,
God.
what classic movie you thinking of?
Back
My
to the
uncle's
Future.
ring. My uncle's ring is cursed, and now I have to travel across the country with it.
Wait, here, back to the... My crazy neighbor created a time machine, and now I'm almost got into a relationship with my mother.
Oh no!
Back-
That's Back to the Future.
that is oh my God. Beautiful.
My childhood best friend
Um,
is secretly a pirate,
I don't even know
and
what
I'm
that's
pretending to be
referring
him.
What? What?
What?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's like a
Oh,
Is it?
oh.
Yeah. Elizabeth Swan, like Will Turner, is secretly a pirate,
Oh.
and Elizabeth Swan pretends to be Elizabeth Turner.
Ah,
That's it.
I didn't know that. I've never seen those movies. I should
What?
probably fix
I
it.
totally
What?
forgot that was a thing.
Whoops.
Jordan, you
Sorry.
got to watch the Pirates movie.
I should watch the. Everybody who I've told that to has said had that exact same reaction. But it's not me
I
time.
know it.
Eric, what else
They
happened to you?
They are very good movies that are a lot of fun, and compared to most big budget Hollywood movies these days, they are impeccably written.
Except for
they're so much fun. They're just a fun
Except
time.
for 4 is and then 5, Johnny Depp was having his lines fed to him through an earpiece.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check out the first.
Anyway, gents, let me tell you about
Oh boy.
my movie of the year. My
Oh?
best picture in May. Definitively no contest. Let me tell you about I Saw the TV Glow. I Saw the TV Glow is I don't even know how to describe it. It is a masterful film. I love that movie from beginning to end. I went in expecting one thing, and by about the halfway point, I hit a scene, and like the whole time I'm thinking, okay, this movie's about this, and then there's one scene, and you watch it, and you're like, oh, I know exactly what this movie's about now. And I looked it up afterwards, and sure enough, that's exactly what it was about. Don't look up the message. Don't look up anything else besides like maybe a plot synopsis of the movie. But listen to me when I tell you, you have to get out and you have to see this movie. You have to see I Saw the TV Glow. It's brilliant. It's utterly brilliant.
What is the genre?
It's like psychological thriller, maybe, I guess. It's kind of it's a little artsy, not incredibly so that like it's too up its own ass, but like it's very creative use of like shots. So I'll give you a quick synopsis. This guy meets this girl when he's young, and basically she tells him about this TV show called The Pink Opaque, and basically they sit down and they watch the TV show together, and they're mesmerized by it. It's a TV show about two girls who are psychics, and basically they fight. They fight like a monster of the week every week, and they are absolutely entranced by this. And this take place in the '90s, and as time goes on, and they grow up and they continue to grow up, it becomes clearer that there is more to this TV show than meets the eye. In fact, there might be something supernatural afoot. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anymore. You just have to watch it. Yeah, it's just again no contest. Best movie here for me. It's something could unseat it, but it's gonna take a damn good movie to unseat that for me. Just genuinely, I'm gonna go see it again with my girlfriend on Thursday, and then I'll probably end up seeing it again with my family. Like I'm gonna see that movie a billion times. I already know it, and I'm gonna absolutely adore every second of it. But yeah, that's the movie you want to watch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Games.
Got bad news for you, bro. I can't find it anywhere near me.
Fuck.
Come to me. Come to
Mike-
where I'm at.
Yeah,
There's
go
a
fly
short
over to
night,
Jordan.
we'll be fine.
I think I'm gonna have to go all the way to Kansas City to find this movie.
Oh,
Go
shit.
to Kansas City just so you can watch this movie and then immediately drive home. How many?
That's
How
like an
long
hour and a
of a
half
drive is
away. I'm gonna be spent more time on the road than I would be in the theater.
that? Literally, it's just 3 hours, bro.
Uh,
Another movie title. I have to save a space princess, but she's secretly my
Princess.
sister.
That's
Oh my
absolutely
god, I know
Star Wars.
exactly what you. That's
Absolutely
funny.
Star Wars.
That's a beautiful. That's beautiful. Anyway, onto what I played. Played a couple tabletop stuff. Played Magic. Um, so I played Magic yesterday with my Magic group, and we sit down and we're like, okay, time to play. And guy across from me says, oh yeah, I'm having another one of my friends join a little bit later if that's cool with you. And it's like we only had like 3 people, so we're like, yeah, sure, we'll get another person in here. So he sits down and he's like, yeah, you mind if I use my Urza deck? And we're like, yeah,
no.
sure.
You say
Sure,
no.
go for it. We're like, sure, no biggie. And
no.
yeah, man proceeds to completely take away our ability. Every time we play a spell, we have to put one of our lands back in our hand. This is by turn 2. By
no.
turn 3,
Yep.
we can only untap 1 permanent per turn, and that is on top of having to take back a land into our hand every
Whoa.
single turn. So by turn 3, he has removed all ability for us to play the game. So my friend Sosa, who is sitting right next to me, he literally just looks up at the guy and says, "Yeah, this is not fun." Like no, that is not a paraphrase. He just goes, "Yeah, this isn't fun," and he just scooped his deck up and was like, "Yeah, we're done with this." And so yeah, and everybody agreed that he just won. Yeah, because like there's nothing we can do. Like he completely shut us out. He destroyed us.
You gotta have that rule 0 combo. You gotta say, okay, what kind of power level is your? As soon as he said
Exactly.
Urza, I would have been like, "Whoa, buddy!"
You see,
Hold
that's
on.
the thing. I didn't know what an Urza deck was, so I was like,
Yeah,
that's probably fun. And then we sit down and he just destroys us, and it's like, oh, okay.
it was the mono blue
After
one,
that,
right?
we went and played. Like, okay, so here's what happened next. We sit down, we play a game with this guy, crushes us. We're like, okay, time for game 2.
Okay.
My friend Sosa's like, first off, Aaron, I got you some new cards for your deck. Mind if I look through your deck, find some ones to replace, and sleeve them? I'm like, okay. So we sit out the next game, and then another guy shows up, and one of the people in my group go, oh yeah, he's my friend. He's gonna come join us. And I'm like, cool. So we sit down, still sleeving the cards. He's like, hey, do you mind if I play the next game with you? I'm like, yeah. And then so we sit down, and then another guy shows up, and he's like, oh hey, I'm so and so's friend in the group. Do you mind if I sit down and play? And it's like, sure. And so we sit down and play. And then after about 5 more minutes, another guy shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm this guy's friend. Do you mind if I sit down and
Revolving
play?
door of friends.
This is getting out of
We're
hand.
like, like, please. I think we finally stopped getting people after that, but yeah, our end group ended up being like 9 people or something like that.
Oh my
So,
god!
Jeez.
Good
You all
grief.
were
Yeah.
playing one game, right? Like the same game?
No, that would have been
Okay.
funny though.
Okay.
That would have been so funny if we had all been playing the same game.
But like
And
a
by the way-
12-hour game.
Oh my god, dude! And by the way, this was 9 people, and we were missing 2. We were missing 2 from our regular group. So if we had our 2 from the regular group, it would have been 11 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
insane. But Magic is fun. I actually ended up winning 1 game yesterday.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. But I felt so bad for my friend Sosa. Like he just straight up he built a new deck and everything just to play it yesterday, excuse me. And like he played another game with some different people, and clearly their decks were much more powerful than our own, and so we kind of got a little wrecked. Not as badly as the first guy, but like it's clear these people had spent way more money on their decks than we had. So after that, the guy who pulled out the Urza deck is like, "Hey, you guys mind if I join you for this next game?" And we're like, "Sure." And so the man sits down and he goes, "Oh, don't worry, this is my weak deck." Yeah. First turn.
Famous last words.
First turn, he plays a card that allows him to steal any creatures that go to any graveyard and put them onto the battlefield under his control. Yeah, so luckily,
Oh my god.
luckily, um, my friend Sosa, he got a card out that basically had us mill a bunch of cards, and
Yeah.
so we had him mill basically all of his win cons. Basically, he got all of his win cons milled, and all of his creatures were only 3/3s. Like that's like a stipulation of whatever card he was using. It's like every creature you get is just like a 3/3. Um,
Huh.
uh, but yeah, so um, that game was pretty nuts. I ended up winning by a hair because I have a artifact red white artifact deck, and I just generated a billion tokens, and they all got buffed to have like 3/3. So I ended up doing like 50 damage on one turn or something crazy like that, and won the game. So
Man.
yeah, that was a pretty good game.
Nice.
Yeah, I felt bad for my friend Sosa. He got decked literally all day. He just got clowned on so hard. But yeah, that's a tabletop. I don't think I've really played anything else tabletop. I guess D&D. I played D&D and Pathfinder. I played D&D with my family. We pretty much just sat down and had ourselves a grand old time. I enjoyed it. They're about to finish my dungeon, which I need to work on doing the lore for the rest of the world now. Now that they're going to be finishing one of the dungeons that I built forever ago. Um, And then Pathfinder, I do every Monday with my Pathfinder group. Um, Besides that, video games, FF7 Rebirth.
Hey.
Great game. Absolutely great game. Some of the most fun combat I've ever played in an RPG, just genuinely. Um, so engaging. Synergies, skills are a great addition and add so much to the combat. Um, World's insanely massive. Um, I think I'm on either the last area or the no, there's one more area after this because I haven't gotten the last planet's blank that you can get like Planet Splendor, Planet's Mercy. I don't think I've gotten to the last one, which is Mercy, I think. So I think I have one more area, but yeah, great game. I'm doing all the side content, doing all the world content. It's a great time. Great characters, great story, great gameplay, great game. All in all, there are very few flaws with it. Um, Next, you know, I watch a lot of Video Game Donkey. I watch his
Oh.
newest videos,
Oh.
and over the last few weeks, he's been advertising the first game from his publishing company that is Animal Well. Now, I was like, I was certain the game was going to be good, but then it ended up getting like a 91 on Metacritic, and I'm like, God dang! So I had to check it out, and I've been playing it, and wow, 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 is that a great Metroidvania? Just absolutely exceptional Metroidvania. It definitely has the most unique use of power ups I've ever played in a Metroidvania. Like I don't think it's the best Metroidvania I've ever played. That goes to Hollow Knight, no question. But it's just the most creative use of power ups. You get a yo-yo, you get a slinky,
Oh.
you get a disc, like well, it's a frisbee. Um, like and like you throw the slinky downstairs to press buttons, and the yo-yo you loop around corners, and it's just such a clever and creative way of using power-ups that I've never seen done in a Metroidvania before. Um, and on top of that, the um, the world is just like packed full of secrets, just absolutely packed to the brim with secrets for you to find, which I love because I am a completionist nerd and have to. Um, uh, but yeah, so I have really been enjoying Animal Well. I'm going to continue playing it until I beat it.
Icky.
Yeah. Beyond that, I played some multiplayer games with my cousin. Overwatch 2. Um, just the return. Uh, we're jamming, we're chilling, we're having a good time. He mains Mauga, I main Kiriko. Yes, we're broken, and yes, we play the meta. Um,
You have to. You have to.
The only way
of
to have
course,
fun.
it's Overwatch. You gotta. Um, but yeah, we played a couple games last night and got absolutely just fucking decked, just absolutely destroyed. Um, um, but yeah, uh, Overwatch 2 is fun. We also played Rainbow Six Siege. That game's a blast. Even now, it's been a billion years since it came out, but it's still releasing banger operatives and banger gameplay. Yeah, it's a fun game. They have a good formula that they found, and they played to it, and they made a bunch of quality of life changes that just kept the game good. And yeah, I'm having a good time with it. We also played one match of Warzone and then got absolutely destroyed, and then just switched to Overwatch. Um, so I opened up Warzone and I was like, okay, it deleted all my custom classes. Let me just like make a new one. And so I go to make a new one and I get onto the assault rifle page. I'm like, okay, this they say this gun's the best. It's like the meta gun. So I click left on the D-pad, which scrolls from the first item on the list to the last item on the list, and I press it, and it's just like 3 straight seconds of scrolling all the way to the right of the screen. And it's like you have so many guns now. I simply cannot possibly keep track of them all. This is absurd. Like, oh my god. But yeah, um, good game. Uh, still, I like Warzone. It's fun to play with friends. Um, books. Oathbringer. I'm
Yeah.
still plugging away at it. It's taken me a hot minute. It will continue to take me a hot minute because I'm a slow ass reader. I just recently got the audio book, so I'm just gonna start listening to that because it requires less attention than having to actually sit down and look through a book. Um, uh, yeah, so Oathbringer, very good. I'm in like the last 300 pages, I think. I feel like I've been on here for forever though, because I keep forgetting to read. Like, it'll be like in the evening, and I'll go to do something, and I'll be like, wait a minit, I was supposed to read Oathbringer today. So I'm just constantly forgetting. Um, but it is an exceptional novel. I also read. I've also gotten back into graphic novels. I took a break from them for way too long, so now I've just started reading them again. Uh, the Outside is what is one I read that I really enjoyed. It's specifically a graphic novel anthology for trans stories, for from different trans men, trans women, non-binary people, etc. It's personal memoirs from their lives. And it was really interesting. It was really fascinating. Not a whole lot of trans women rep, but that's okay. I understand. Um, anyway, that was a really good graphic novel. I'm glad I read that. I'm sure I've read others that I've just totally forgotten about, but yeah. Anyway, on to life events. Speaking of trans issues, I've had a lot of stuff come up lately. Consultation for sexual reassignment surgery. Got a CT scan for my facial feminization surgery, and got some new meds added to my hormone regimen. So, also submitted a petition for name and gender change to the state of Texas. Um, yeah, so should be smooth sailing from here on out. We shall see. But yeah, that covers everything I've done for the last 6 or so weeks.
Hell yeah.
All right, Jordan, you are up.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. I guess we'll start with what I've been playing. Ladies and gents, let me tell you something.
Mhm.
It has been a long and arduous journey. Um, I didn't think I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, but after sitting down and telling myself that I'm no longer having fun at this point and I really should just like get to the ending, I have finally finished Tears of the Kingdom.
Hey!
He did it. He did it.
It took me exactly. I was on Twitter the other day and I saw this like the art of that Nintendo posted, and it was like happy congratulations to 1 year since Tears of the Kingdom. It was an awesome game, and I was like, oh god, it's been a year. I can't keep playing this game and not get to the ending at this point. I keep wandering and dilly-dallying. Screw this. I'm finishing the game. I know that everybody finished this game like a year ago, but honestly,
I don't even own it yet.
oh, you know what?
I haven't.
All right,
beaten
I'll
it.
try to. Oh, you haven't beat. Okay, cool.
Nope.
I feel way less bad
I
about it
have
now.
beaten it.
It took me
Okay.
like 6 years to beat Breath of the Wild. Like,
Ugh,
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I
never in a hurry.
Dude, I put that game down when what was it that came out? I think it was Baldur's Gate. I think Baldur's Gate came out, and I put down Tears of the Kingdom. Said, yeah,
Baldur's
okay, that it had its time. I will come back to it at some point.
Fair enough. Well, I won't go into too much details for the final area, but like that final the final boss area, that final rush. Okay, that shit was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It was very good.
that shit was really good. That that final fight with Ganon, I was like, ooh, this is some of the best in the series. Quite possibly.
Ooh.
This is
All right.
Oh, spoilers!
The-
You fight Ganon at the end. That's
What?
spoilers.
I'll
That
tell
was
you what.
Monty.
There is something that happens in the fight that made me just like megapog, I guess. Aaron, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's
I
the
sure do.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute. It's great. Honestly, it was great. Yeah, made it kind of worth it. And so now I am free from the shackles that is Tears of the Kingdom. I can finally allow myself to play other games. And let me tell you something. It
As
feels
freedom
nice.
felt sweet.
I feel lost. I feel directionless.
Oh,
I
no.
Have you ever beat
I,
Xenoblade?
I feel like when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, I gotta do something. Wait, what's this thing? Oh, what's this thing? Oh, what's that thing? Oh, all my rewards are just rupees? Great. Awesome. Nothing
love
nothing
rupees.
substantial.
And now you're free. By the way, did you ever beat Xenoblade?
Funny story.
Back
Funny
to
story
the
about
mines
that.
with you. Do
F-
the Xenoblade.
funny
Wait
funny
for the
story.
end.
I'm not free. But I need to listen. Let me have a moment. Let me just have a moment to breathe. Just a moment of respite.
It's like, hey, you know what you could do? We could go hunt monsters.
We could go hunt. I'm about to talk about that, Mitch. Mitch, I'm about to talk about that.
All right.
So excited.
Okay. So Tears of the Kingdom did that. I might go. Well, no, I'm kidding myself. I'm not going back to that game anytime soon. I spent a year in that game. I'm not doing any. I put 100 hours into that game. It's going on the shelf.
That's
next to
working
Breath of the
numbers.
Wild. Good game. All right. After that, folks. So the latest and greatest hotness came out not late last week. No, yeah. Last week, a couple of weeks ago. Not Animal Well, but in a similar vein, I think it came out a couple of days either after or before it. Hades 2 has
Hey.
Nothing
Yes. There we
and I
go.
have not bought it yet.
Neither
However,
have I.
however,
I haven't even beaten Hades 1.
Oh, you should. That game is good. That game is good. But
I should, but I'm still salty about Hades' second phase. It's been like 2 years. I'm
Come
still
on.
mad.
you should know this. It's a final boss. What's a final boss without 2 phases? Come on. But I'll rewind a bit. A couple of weeks before Supergiant released that they were having like a technical test to to give to people to let them play for like a week or two just to make sure that the build was up to snuff. And so I did end up getting on that. And so I played a couple of hours of the technical test build of Hades 2, and let me tell you guys, that game is good. That game is straight fire. Whew. I only got to the first area. I was able to beat the first boss. I won't say any like spoilers or anything, but yeah, it's the combat's been kind of reworked. You don't have like the casting works differently. You have like a magic bar now, and your cast is not like like crystals that you fire at things now. Your cast is like a magic circle, essentially, you know, that kind of holds enemies, which is
Oh,
really
yeah.
interesting. But you also have like omega attacks for your attack, your special, and your cast, which if you hold down the button, it either like does a nice flourish, or it hits a wider area, or it does more damage to enemies, which I think is really cool. But the omega attacks use some of your magic meter. So them reworking, it's really interesting because they reworked the game in such a brilliant way. And I was like, oh, this is me relearning the game, but it's still like I feel like it's a step up already from Hades 1. I really, really enjoyed it. And I only got to try 2 of the weapons that they have. The technical test only had the staff and the like knives, which I I don't know which one I prefer just yet, but either way. Game is great. Game is awesome. This is just from the demo test. I'm going to pick it up eventually, but probably not anytime soon, just because I have a couple of games on my backlog, Xenoblade Chronicles, that I would like to touch. At least that I'd like to at least make some progress in before I pick up Hades 2 at this point. So
No,
no,
not
I'm
allowed.
not allowed. I'm not
Illegal.
allowed. Oh, okay. Well, going to
Illegal.
Steam right now. I'm going to okay. Yeah, so I'll pick that up eventually. Um speaking of eventually, not speaking of eventually. Speaking of a couple of weeks ago, let's unpin the pin. Mitchell texted me a couple of weeks ago and was like, "Hey Jordan, do you want to hit up some Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate?" And yeah, we just had a Friday where we just played some Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. And honestly, even though I completely forgot how to play that game was fun. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Mitchell, for
fun.
carrying me the whole time. I ranked up. I'm now ranked 2. Let's go. That in comparison to Mitchell's rank 125, 26. So yeah, Monster Hunter fun. Believe it or not. I know believe it or not, Monster Hunter fun. It's a good game. Hunting monsters. You know what the deal is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good time. Should do that again. And or hit up Monster Hunter World, just because I know we got that. I got that on my PC, but yeah, we can hit up
So do
Generations.
I.
That means we got to do it. We got to do the story missions together.
Yep, definitely.
Hell yeah. All right. What else? Picked up a copy of Shovel Knight for the Switch, even though I already have it on my 3DS. Played a little bit of that. Shovel Knight good. It's 10 years old,
Shovel Knight
but
good.
still a banger. Shovel Knight good. There's
My
really
God,
nothing else to
has
say.
it really been 10 years?
No, it's not 10 years. No, it only came out like a few years ago. No. No.
I'm sorry,
Mitchell.
Mitchell. I'm sorry.
Mitchell, it came
No.
out. Mitchell, it came out before we graduated.
No.
We had our 10-year reunion.
No, he didn't.
Yes, we did.
I reject your reality.
I still remember the Kickstarter like it was yesterday.
Because it was. It was yesterday.
It was not. Unfortunately, you
It
have to let them
was.
go. You have to let them go. It's been so long.
Mitchell, wake up. The coma. You're in a coma. Wake up. It's
No,
been
I
10
love it.
years.
I like the coma. The coma's
finished-
comfier.
They finished all of the stretch goal. It's done. It's like done. Will Yacht Club Games make another game?
Don't worry, Mitchell.
why not?
Don't worry, Mitchell. Silk Song still hasn't come out yet.
That's true.
Ah,
That's true. You have
and
that.
all is still right with the universe.
All right, if Silk Song is not a 300+ hour game, what are we even doing here? Honestly, what are we
Honestly.
doing?
Honestly,
That game needs to.
if I can't be playing this on my next life, is it even worth playing?
Seriously. Huh. However, another game that I did touch a little bit, haven't gotten too deep into it, was a game that was recommended to me by a friend. She said it was really, really good. So I picked it up on a whim, unfortunately. The game is called In Stars and Time, and it is, I guess the simplest way I can do this, describe it, is Undertale meets Groundhog Day, essentially. I'm not far in it at all, but the gist is like I've been told not to go in like with little information, but the only information I have thus far is you're a group of little adventurers trying to defeat the big bad, stop the evildoer. But the main character has a little thing where they if they die they loop, and so now do with that information what you will. And so
What game is
haven't
this
gotten
again?
in Stars in Time.
I've never heard of it.
I I heard it from a friend, picked it up on a whim, and
I've seen
yeah.
images of this.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this game just yet. It's I'll tell you
Sounds
what.
cozy.
I'll tell you what though. They be talking in that game. And I know it's an RPG, but I get to the point where I'm like, whew, okay, we get it. We get it. Haha. Funny party dynamic. We got it. Okay. Can we get can we pick up the pace? And like I don't want to say too much, but I feel like there's already parts where like they're like, "Oh, hey, if there's something you've already heard, you can skip over it." But part of me in the back of my head is like, "I played Undertale now. You can't fool me with this shit. Something's gonna happen. Is this Click too? Is Click in here as well? Where I hit the skip button and people are like, well, why aren't you paying attention? Do you not love us anymore?" And I'm gonna start to feel bad. I got you, game. I'm not even 2 hours in, and I already got you. So I'll need to spend a bit more time in this to figure out what's going on. I'll let you know if this game is either overrated or Gautier status. So, um, yeah. Uh, but yeah, that kind of wraps up everything that I've been playing recently. Um, RIP Tears of the Kingdom. I ain't ever putting that shit back in my Switch. Um, okay. Moving on to stuff that I've been watching, folks. Let me tell you about the gospel that is X-Men 97. X-Men 97 might be the best form of Marvel media we've gotten this century. Like, it is so good. It is unreasonably good. Like,
I was literally, so I met with my college buddies earlier today, and two of them were like, "Yeah, it's probably the best thing Marvel has put out in like
yeah,
the last like 20 years."
yeah, actually, legitimately, it is fantastic. It is so good. It looks good. All of the actors bring their A game. What actors that are still surviving from the original X-Men series from the 90s, they bring them back to reprise their roles. And the people who had to switch do very good jobs. Um, Story's tight. It is tight. A 30-minute episode will pass by, and I'm like, there is no filler in here whatsoever. Even the filler episodes, I'm like, oh wow, we're just we're on top of things. It's fantastic. It's great, honestly. I honestly caved because I was initially like, I should watch the original X-Men series before I watch X-Men 97 so I understand it. I'm gonna say you'll be like a little left out. There are absolutely some references to the original X-Men series, but like you get the gist of it. If you just hop in, you'll get the gist of it. You'll get the gist of things. They don't sit there and explain everything that's been going on. But if you just want to recap, there are recaps aplenty on YouTube of the entire X-Men series. If you want to like be caught up and such, but whew, X-Men 97 is great.
I wish
Last
I could do
episode
that,
dropped.
Jordan, but
You absolutely can.
Jordan,
Go and dry. Raw
Jordan,
dog it like a
Jordan,
boy.
I am currently watching classic Doctor Who.
Listen, all I'm saying is X-Men 97's 10 episodes. It's 10 episodes, and you're done for right now. There might be a season 2. There's a good chance there will be a season 2.
I think they got confirmed for season 2.
Yeah. Good. it honestly just got to the point with the show because like I wasn't watching it, but every Thursday I was just having the episode spoiled for me on Twitter that I was like, okay, let me just let me just sit down and watch the show. Yeah, it's a good show. Good show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you have any interest in X-Men, you should check it out. It's a good show. Good watch. Easily the best thing Marvel has put out in the last 20 years. Your friends are right. Your friends are correct. The show is great. The show is fantastic. Um yeah, so that's X-Men 97. The only other thing I've really been watching is they started releasing the anime adaptation of a manga that I've been keeping up with recently, and that's Kaiju number 8. Um Pretty good. It's a pretty simple
Mm.
story. Well, it's not a simple story. Basically, think Pacific Rim. Kaiju's are about everywhere, but instead of having giant robots to fight them, they have like special forces that go out and you know fight the kaiju. There's a guy who wants to be in the part of the special forces, but he just hasn't been able to. He's geriatric at this point, an old man at the old age of 32, so he can no longer, he's no longer a shonen protagonist anymore. He can't he can't achieve his dream. But he tries out, but then one night a something goes down his throat, and now he has turned into a kaiju. You can just shapeshift into a kaiju now, which is cool. And so now now it's the perils of him like, oh, I have great power. What great responsibility must I have? Do I keep it a secret from the military guys? What do I do? Um Good show. Very, very good show. I really like the comic and I like the adaptation so far. What microphone? What are you doing? You can't just fall on me like that. My bad. Uh it's a good adaptation thus far. I really like it. Remains pretty faithful to the source material. It looks really good. Um, Somehow, to me, the models. Okay, one of my gripes with the only gripe I have with the show is that sometimes the models look like a little weird, and not in a they look off model way. They just like you look at some of the animated faces and it's like this looks off. This looks off. I don't know what it is. And then like a second later when it's in motion, I'm like, oh, okay, this looks fine. This looks great. This looks great. But if you look at a character's face for too long, sometimes you're just like, this doesn't look good. And it just like transitions between that really, really quickly. So it's very weird. But other than that, good show. I think y'all should check it out. If you haven't done so, I think they're only on episode like 5 or 6 this week. So yeah, Kaiju number 8. It's pretty cool. Gonna continue watching that. And I'll continue reading the OG manga. Speaking of reading, move on into reading, I guess. I've been keeping up with my mangas, been keeping up with the latest Jujutsu Kaisen, been keeping up with the latest My Hero Academia. Both of these are in their final arcs. uh, so we're kind of in the end game. It's kind of sad, but you know what? These have both been pretty good thus far. JJK more so in my opinion, but still pretty good.
People keep
Not gonna.
spoiling me on it every single time. I'll go to like it's like I haven't been keeping up with it. I'm gonna finish it as soon as it's done. But like literally, like the image of what happens to a certain character in like the last chapter, or the chapter before the last chapter or something, circulated everywhere, and so I was like, okay, that happens, I guess. And then the most recent development on what happened in the manga is like, okay, that's a meme now. Everybody's talking about this now.
Gotcha.
So now I know what happens.
I apologize. It's the
It's
fans.
okay.
This is Jujutsu Kaisen, right? You're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Those fans are just they are.
It's all good. It's all good. I don't mind. I don't mind getting spoilers because I'll probably forget them by the time I actually go to watch the show / read the manga anyway.
Fair enough. I feel like this show is this manga's ending. I feel like it'll be over within the next year or so. So
Oh yeah.
we'll have to see. Okay. Other than that, the other comic slash graphic novel that I read, I decided to pick up the first 3 volumes of the Adventure Zone comic. Um,
Oh,
so I read through the first one. Uh, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good retelling of the Adventure Zone balance arc. The first Here There Be Gerblins arc. I thought the art was really, really good. I thought it was I was a little confused at first, but I remembered how in the Here There Be Gerblins first arc, it's like half Lost Mines of Phandelver D&D
yep.
campaign until it like veers off and does Griffin's own thing. So the names were changed for that first arc, and I was like, oh shoot, that's I wonder why it's oh right, that's right. Okay, that makes sense. So um yeah, it was interesting, and it doesn't always translate from, I guess, audio podcast format to comic format. So some of the jokes from the original are still there, but a lot of the kind of banter has been like either remixed or kind of refashioned, I guess, to work a bit better on the page. So it was interesting. It was really like reading a different take of the first arc, which I thought was great. I thought it was cool. So yeah, that Adventure Zone comic's pretty good. So I'm a bit of the ways through the second one now, the Murder on the Rockport Limited, I want to say is what it is. So
Yes.
yeah. So I have that one, and then I also have Pedals to the Metal, so I'll get through those at some point. Finish those up. They're pretty good. They're honestly pretty good. I hope to be able to read all the way to the Suffering Game because that was my favorite arc, even though it was really really dark. But
Yeah.
I really like that one and the Golden Hour, which I think was the one that just released. So or not the 11th hour, the golden the time loop one. Spoiler alert. I
Yeah.
like time loops. uh yeah. So I'll keep reading those. Those are pretty good. Those have been pretty good. Um Cool. I've also been still on my reading challenge, folks. 24 books in 2024. Spoiler alert. It's not going good.
Oh no.
Ooh.
I'm currently 2 books behind schedule, unfortunately. The reason is I spent the last 2 months reading this damn John Steinbeck book.
Oh
It's called
no.
East of Eden.
Ah, East of
Hey,
Eden.
East of Eden.
um, whew, that's a tome. That shit was a tome. Let me tell you. Uh, I felt reading that book almost like I feel reading that book or felt reading that book. I was able to finish it a couple of weeks ago. Almost the same way I did when I was watching Breaking Bad, where like watching Breaking Bad, I was watching it and I was like, this show is good. This show is great. This show is amazing. I could only watch maybe 2 episodes, 3 episodes per day just because I was so on edge. That show is so stressful to watch. And I just couldn't take it. The drama in it was just like, oh my god, I can't take it. Now, the drama in East of Eden, it's not nearly to that degree, but it's still there's so many it's very heavy. It's a very
Yeah.
heavy, it's very dense, it's very uh a lot of shit happens. You're following this guy, you're following his kids. Uh a lot of shit happens that I was like, oh fuck. Oh damn. That there are at least 3 or 4 moments that I just audibly just vocalize that while reading that book. But shoo, that's a good book. That's a I'll tell you what, that's a fucking book right there. Um I don't know if it's one that I'd say you have to read this because like they're ooh. I don't know, but it's a very very interesting read. Very very interesting read. Man, people suck. That's it's the theme of the book. People
It will
people
be
suck.
like that.
Unfortunately. But people can sometimes be pretty cool. So, East of Eden was cool. And then in the interim, I had to take a break from East of Eden because it was a lot. I think I might have mentioned this last time. I started reading Guards. I don't know if I talked about if I finished it or not. The last time I talked to y'all. But I finished it. I did finish Guards by Terry Pratchett. It's
Okay.
pretty good. That is another solid entry point into the Discworld novels, if you care to read them. Basically, in the Magic City of Ankh-Morpork on Discworld, there is the Night Watch, not Night's Watch, the Night Watch, which is essentially like night cops, officers. They're kind of down to the dumps, honestly. They there really hasn't been a need for them, and so it's kind of them kind of grappling with this mystery about uh you know something is trying to take over the city, and so I won't get too much into it, but solid novel. I thought Terry Pratchett's very tongue-in-cheek like uh writing style made that book very, very, very funny. Um, it's a funny book, but it's a good book. Uh, it's a funny, solid read about uh constables trying to help save the city, I guess. So, uh, yeah, I'd say give it a read. It is a very, very, very good book. I really enjoyed it. Probably one of my favorites of Terry Pratchett's. I don't think it's my favorite, but it's one of them. So I've got a pretty good track record. 3 hits from what I've read. You know, listen, hey, this Terry Pratchett guy, he might be up to something. He might be onto
Right.
something. I don't know. Critically acclaimed author. Who would have thunk it? So you should get on that. You should get on that. Cool. Other than that, I haven't been doing too much. Really haven't listened to anything new at this point. So that's almost it. But folks, I'd be remiss if we didn't stop by Jadon Sports Corner. I'm calling it right here. I'm christening this segment. It's sports time, everybody. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody, can you believe it? Shout out to the Dallas Stars. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks for making their conference finals in their respective sports. Dallas is the only city with both teams in the finals, baby. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Texas #1, baby.
Texas #1,
Yeah.
baby. So, not just Texas, Dallas, baby. We don't talk about Houston. No.
That's a fake city.
No. So, yeah, I've been watching the Dallas Stars very, very closely. Shout out to them. Hopefully they do pretty good in their next game on Thursday. Still don't know their opponents just yet, but they're going off against a Canadian team. Who would have thunk it?
What?
Dallas looks like Denver is going against Minnesota right now. Oh my goodness, the game is tied in the 4th quarter. Whew. We'll have to see if they face off against Minnesota or Denver. Either way, wishing them the best. Let's make Dallas a title city again. That'd be cool. Aside from the Cowboys are useless. No.
I tell my students every time they start to get excited about the Cowboys. Oh, the Cowboys are gonna do it this year, Mr. Nelson. Because the Cowboys haven't been good since before I was born.
Have you seen the cycle? Have I sent you all the Cowboy cycle?
I don't know if you sent me the cycle, but I'm sure I recognize it, even if I've never seen it in my life.
Where is it? A friend of mine keeps sending me it, even though I'm not a Cowboys fan. But it's oh no, where is it? It's somewhere in my Discord. I know for
I was
sure.
like, wait, didn't the Cowboys do good last year? And I'm like, no, that was the Rangers.
Yes, that was the Rangers.
The Rangers who
yeah.
did good.
Yeah, Rangers did great.
Yeah, they brought it home for the first time.
First time,
For the
Finally.
finally. Okay. Well, I can't find it, and I'm not gonna hold all of us up while I look for it. So I'll post it if I ever do find it, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So this has been Jadon Sports Corner. Thank you all for attending. I'll be back next month and I'll let you know if the Dallas Stars do it or if I'm super depressed and they don't. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that's about it from me. That's everything I've done. So Mitch, take it away.
All right. On to
Mitchell.
me. Let me think. I guess I'll start off with the Mist podcast.
Yes! Yes!
I blasted through the first 2 seasons of that.
Myths
Fantastic.
podcast?
Midst.
Midst? What is this? I'm
M-I-D-S-T.
looking this up. Podcast.
It's
I
very
missed-
Oh, Critical Role.
yeah. Yeah, it's like a little side story.
It's not
It's
a-
just like kind of very
Oh.
well. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with like the Critical Role D&D thing. It's
Yeah. It's just by the same people.
Yeah.
Is
like
it?
same producer.
It's not the
like
Critical
pub-
Role
It's like
website.
Yeah,
it's
produced
like
by them.
published by them, but it's like I don't know if
Oh,
any of
I
the
see. Okay.
narrators are.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, fun little kind of space western. Yeah, space western.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real good.
So,
We
I
need
know
more.
it's very surreal space western. It's hard to explain. Just
The narrators,
give
though,
it a listen.
they do a good job. They do a
It's
Oh,
a
I'll
good
check this
job.
out.
Yes.
please. There are dozens of us. There are dozens of us mid-span. we're
Yeah,
gonna
give
double
Midst a listen. It's surreal space cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
Space western. It's interesting. It's hard to explain without going into spoilers or even trying to explain how this crazy world works. It's kind of just like a bunch of floating asteroid islands in space ?
It's cool. It's really cool.
It's pretty cool.
They're on their 3rd season right now, which is supposed to be the last one for Midst, technically. It's still in progress, but
Yeah, it seems like they're wrapping up some loose ends.
yeah.
But I got to like, have you been like keeping up with it?
I haven't listened to. No, I am caught up. I should. Yes, I am all caught up actually.
Okay, I think I got up to the point where like the ex-bartender dude did like a big thing.
Yes.
Did like a big reveal.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
yes.
no. Oh
Yes.
no. Oh no.
Ooh, that was one.
Oh shit just got real.
That was a great reveal. I was like, what?
Great reveal, man. The dude who voices him does a good job. Such a
Oh,
weird,
yeah.
creepy voice.
Oh yeah. Each of the narrators. I like each of the narrators and how they kind of like flip back and forth between like different characters, but they all just knock it out of the park, honestly.
Yeah. So I did watched Mist, listened to Mist. I watched the Doctor Sleep movie, which Doctor Sleep is the kind of like spiritual sequel to The Shining.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was certainly a movie.
Well.
I'm trying to let me collect my thoughts here. Give me a second. It's been a while. It's been like a month. Doctor Sleep. Strangely enough, they killed off a lot more people in the movie than they did the book. Stephen King didn't kill anyone off in the book.
Oh.
So I would argue that the movie is probably a little scarier than the actual book. I was not really scared of the book at all. But yeah. 4 people died. It is interesting because in the books, in The Shining, the hotel is destroyed. So in the book, they go to like the ruins of the hotel. But since in the movie, The Shining, the hotel didn't explode, they still had the full hotel, and it is very much as a huge callback to The Shining. They just get to pull out all the old The Shining shots and be like, "Remember The Shining?
Remember?
Remember?
I remember.
I remember." Let's see, who played the father in The Shining again?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. They CGI'd Jack Nicholson in as like the creepy ghost bartender.
Ooh.
Nice.
But yeah. So there is a character who has The Shining, and the kid who was in The Kid in The Shining. God dang it. I forgot all the character names.
Oh,
Forgot all the character names. Shining characters. Ah, dang it, I forgot all the names. 1 minute. But anyway, one of the characters, like the kid, Danny Torrance. So Danny kind of becomes like kind of a mentor figure to this younger character who has The Shining. Her name is Abra, as in abracadabra.
Oh shit! Just like
it's like
my God.
Pokemon.
And like for Pokemon, do you get the name? It's Abra. It's really dumb. They made Abra a Ruby fan. She has Ruby merch in her room.
No way!
But I just thought was a funny little tidbit.
Beautiful.
I'm just like, that's a Ruby poster in the background. Hold up.
Bro, Whoopi lives on. It lives on. It's not
It
dead.
lives-
It will
Apparently it's not. I
continue.
think someone bought the rights to it. I think someone bought the rights
I'm
to
so
Ruby.
glad Monty Oom's legacy lives on.
It kind of died a while ago. I'm sorry to say.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I do not watch Ruby, but I know what happens because every time the new season gets posted, my YouTube gets flooded with clips, and I
Yep.
can just keep up with the 30-second clips. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so glad I don't watch this show because this is some shit writing.
Kind of went off the rails.
I like all the people in the comments who theorize what's going to happen, and all their ideas are better than what the Ruby crew actually does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, Doctor Sleep, pretty good. I enjoy it. Moving on, the second episode of the Amazing Digital Circus released finally.
Oh yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah, I need to
Yep,
watch
sure
that.
did. Of course I did. I watched it. And then, to add to my growing collection of cartoon pilots I know of, Ramshackle.
Oh, yeah, that's the I know that one. Hold on.
That one was also
Me.
good.
Remind myself of this one.
That was pretty good. It's kind of got like a.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Did anyone remember Flapjack?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Of
Yeah,
course.
It's kind of got a Flapjack vibe to it,
Hmm.
with like
I
the
have to watch
animation
this.
style, I think, and kind of the humor. But yeah,
Nice.
very. I enjoy it. It's like I've been following the dude behind Ramshackle for a while now because he posted like a 2-minute short like 3 years ago that I found, kind of introducing the character. So I've known about this for a little while. So I'm glad it finally released. It's like, but yet another one for my growing collection of why do I know so many cartoon pilots on YouTube?
You should turn it into your own segment. Turn it into your. That's your.
That's my segment. Welcome to the random cartoon pilot on YouTube. Today is Ramshackle. Go watch Ramshackle. It's good. And also obligatory. Please watch Monkey Wrench. Please.
Okay.
Please, dear God, watch Monkey Wrench.
I'll throw money at it. Oh my goodness. He's already got a preview for season 4? Ain't no way. What?
Oh yeah, yeah, season 4 is coming out, but it's like, yeah, no, I am throwing money at the Patreon because I want this Monkey Wrench to do well. I am throwing money at it.
All right.
Well, then we'll move on
I hope it
to.
succeeds.
Let's see. Didn't do any reading. I just didn't really want to listen to audiobooks this month. So let's see. Persona 5. We're jumping to Persona 5. That's kind of the only other thing I've done.
Hmm.
So Persona 5. I don't trust Akechi. I do not trust Akechi at all.
What do
He's
you
just
mean?
a dude.
He's
He's
just
just
a
a guy.
dude. He's
What?
just a dude who
Just a guy.
definitely overheard Morgana talk 6 months ago, but he's pretending
Yeah.
that he didn't. No, don't trust him.
Are you sure you're not just seeing things?
I think that's
I don't know,
ridiculous.
don't trust him.
As someone who hasn't beaten this
I know.
game, I think that's ridiculous.
But I just don't trust him. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, it'll be fine. Because, you know, freaking what's-his-face is just screaming, hey guys, we're the Phantom Thieves!
God damn it, Ryuji.
You're the fan of
Yeah, he's gotta let everybody know.
Yep. So let's see. I got through Futaba's Palace. That was pretty good. But why is there always that one random book in Persona games that's super easy to miss? Because I missed a book, and I'm like, I'm not doing it again to get the book achievement thing. But why is there always a one book that's like only available for 3 days?
You just,
Sorry.
don't worry.
Gotta
about
get a
it.
new game plus. Gotta get a new
Alright.
game plus. Gotta replay the game.
No, I don't
Yep,
want to.
gotta go back through the whole game.
Yep.
Whole game.
I mean, I'm gonna do New Game Plus, but that's for social links. I'm not doing books. I already maxed out my social stats. I'm not gonna read.
What do I look like? Some kind of nerd?
Some kind of nerd. But anyway. Yeah, Futaba's Palace. And there's the scene where you're trying to find Futaba in Sojiro's house, and Makoto clings onto Joker and it's like, let the shipping begin. And then in Futaba's Palace, Joker runs up and catches like Makoto as she's like falling or about to get hit by a rock, and it's like, let the shipping begin again. It's like, this is why people like Makoto. The game is not being subtle about this.
She is the best girl, so, you know, that's fine.
Now I'll get to that in a second.
All those other options are just side chicks.
No, I'm not doing the harem route. I can't. I won't.
Way to deal, Mitch.
Use
You have
call.
to.
Persona 5 Royal, more like Persona 5 Loyal. I'm not doing the harem route. I will not do it.
Never.
But anyway, yeah. Got to Futaba's Palace. Futaba unlocks her persona. Why are there robot tentacles? I don't like that.
It's tentacles.
Don't like that shit at all. And then as after you beat Futaba's boss, after you beat that, and her palace starts to collapse, you're running down the pyramid trying to escape in like the little anime cutscene. And I can only describe the scene as Morgana prolapses his Van Anus to catch them as the pyramid collapses.
Yeah, I'd say that's fairly accurate.
Aaron, back me up on this. Is that not what happened?
That's accurate.
That's what happens.
I need to continue on this game.
It's like,
That's what
I
really
need
drew
you
you
to-
in right there.
Yeah. You know, all the other stuff about the game.
You're
the incredible
judging me for
gameplay,
the
incredible
you
story,
punish me for
all
the
that stuff.
for the Tai Takemi screenshot, but you're interested in the prolapsed Van Anus?
You know,
You're gonna judge me
Listen,
about
I have
Tai
my own
Takemi?
taste. Don't kink shame.
I'm not shaming. I'm just questioning.
about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm questioning in a very judgmental manner.
And I'm questioning in the most unbelievably judgmental way I can possibly muster.
Yes.
I'm respectfully judging.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, got past that one. Got to the stupid discount Darth Vader looking asshole.
Oh, that I hate them. That's the
Burger King,
worst.
good old Burger King boss.
That's the worst fight in the game. There's nothing worse than that. freaking boss.
I I didn't have a curse persona. I couldn't find any personas with curse abilities.
Yeah,
Get wrecked.
that fight's I had to redo that fight like 3 or 4 times, probably more, honestly.
I think it only took me 3, but just because I'm like, man, I sure am glad I've been hoarding all of these Phantom Thief tools that do various element damage, so that
Oh,
I can
yes.
baton pass to Haru and do the one effective move that can almost one-shot them. And then I just have to pray that he doesn't buff them or anything.
Yeah.
And then I nearly killed myself at like the last robot. Because he put up like a magic reflect thing. And I completely
Oh.
forgot about it at one point and used the bless spell, and I'm like, oh no! But fortunately my persona nullifies bless, so I'm like, oh thank god, I saved myself from my
Thank
own
goodness.
stupidity. But yeah. Did have one good tactic because the robot liked to target Haru, so I just put Haru physical reflect spell on. And the robot killed himself dealt more damage to himself than I dealt to him.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
So I'm glad when the strategy works out. So that I don't have to fight him again.
I want to know what
But
happens if you magic reflect somebody and you also you magic reflect and your opponent has magic reflect. What happens?
I don't know. I don't know if that ever procs enough.
It bounces infinitely. You just keep bouncing the spell off each other.
It's
I don't
got
know. Does it only
Whoever-
proc once? Does it get nullified?
That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question.
Probably could Google it. But anyway, all y'all are over here saying Makoto's best girl, but what about Haru?
Haru is there,
Haru,
and apparently
yeah,
Haru
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 is
has
very
like
good. Except that she's
has, like-
not in there for 90% of the game.
we get like 5 minutes with with Haru. I like Haru, but I would like a little bit more of her.
Like, I'm not disputing that she does need more screen time, but I don't know. I think I like Haru more. I think I like Haru more than Makoto. I hang out with Makoto and I'm just like, you're trying to be Naoto, but you're just not Naoto. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, of course not. She doesn't have a hat.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a little hat.
Because like you're just a worse Naoto, so I don't like Makoto's social link so far.
Well, I think you're being unfair to the character.
Well, we'll figure out on my next run when I do all the confidants.
I don't know. I haven't. You're farther in the game than I am.
We're seeing. It's like I like Makoto as a character. I just don't buy her and Joker being in a relationship. I don't buy that. I don't see it. But then I finally got through Sai's Palace today. Which is a very interesting palace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Makoto's older sister, I got through hers. The
Yeah.
prosecutor lady that's like interrogating you the whole game. Got through her. There's like that little casino bit in the palace. Remember that?
Yes. Yes, I sure do.
I sure do. I'm so glad that I had a persona with like a high instant bless kill move that I just cheesed through the first 2 rounds. And then
Yeah.
for Thor, I reflected his own boosted attack on him and like one-shot him.
That's beautiful.
I did not get hit once in that arena.
Interesting.
It's like I killed that arena. I'm very proud.
Well done.
And so now I'm just trying to figure out what to do from here because I still don't trust Akechi.
Nah, he's a cool dude. He's just a bro.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of spoilers, I was trying to remember like one of the royal confidants has like a time limit. When is that end date again? And I Google it, and it's like, if you want to access the third semester, and spoiler, in-game palace boss spoilers. This date. I'm like, I just needed the date. I didn't need you to spoil the entire fucking plot. Thanks a lot, Google.
Don't you love it?
I'm like, I just needed the date. I didn't need the entirety of the game spoiled for me. Thank you, Google.
Google's like, by the way, Darth Vader is Luke's father.
It's like, thanks. So yeah. And yep, no, that's about it. I was pretty busy with work this month, so I didn't really do anything else. So we'll move on to Zach.
Damn. All right.
Before that, Aaron, I do have one question about Persona 5.
Okay.
I got one
I
quick
might
question.
be able to give you an answer.
Did you care about the thieves, like the Thieves Den at all? Did you do all those achievements?
The Thieves Den?
The
One
Thieves
sec, I
Den?
gotta remember what the heck this is.
I'll take that as a no then, so I'm not gonna care.
Thieves Den. One sec. This is. I probably did this. I just have zero clue what the heck this is.
That's for super uber completionists.
Yeah, it's like the in-game achievement guide, and it's like, do I want to grind out some of these achievements? Do I want it? Because one of the achievements is romance all the romanceable characters, and then the second one is don't romance all the romanceable characters, and it's like, okay, apparently I can save scum this, but like that's still a lot of reloading.
Yeah, the completionist like literally said, "Hey guys, I'm trying to complete Persona 5, but it is taking so long because you get a specific item for each of the romanceable girls, but only if you just go with that girl through the whole game. So, guys, would you guys consider this completed
No.
if I didn't go through those?"
It's like, yeah, no, don't do that.
I forgot this existed, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember this.
Well, then I probably just skip it then, because I was looking at some of these achievements and it's like, that's gonna be a while to grind. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is very
Because
fair.
one of them's like the book achievement, read all the books. One of them's like go visit the sauna a certain amount of times, and I'm like, but I've maxed out my charm, so I don't need to. I don't want to waste my time. So like, all right, I'll probably just ignore it then. Like, sorry, back to you, Zach.
So, biggest thing that I did this past month was we put my community theater. We put on SpongeBob the Musical.
Hey,
SpongeBob.
Yeah, and I was
SpongeBob.
I was Squidward.
Hey, Squidward.
Squidward's got the best part in the show. He's so much fun. He's also got the best costume. It was a pain to get working, but when we finally got it, it was incredible. He's got 4 legs. It's a set of prosthetic legs connected to my behind my legs. So whenever I'm walking, it's like lifting up 2 sets of legs at a time. So much fun. And on Broadway, the guy had freaking taps on all 4 feet.
Oh man.
Oh dang.
Which I did not have. I did not do that because I'm not insane. Gavin Lee is insane. This guy was Bert in the Mary Poppins musical, and in that musical, he taps upside down. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, so he like does a handstand and taps with his hands. That's really impressive. No. There's a part in Step in Time where he goes to the proscenium, walks up the proscenium, walks onto the ceiling, and then gets to the center of the ceiling, turns and faces the audience, and taps on the ceiling.
Man.
Apparently, they did that at one of the local high schools, and did that in one of the high schools. And I'm like, oh, jeez, that high school is so much money.
So y'all did that too, right?
I don't know.
Ah.
Number one, we haven't done Mary Poppins yet, so I'm gonna bring it up this year to maybe look at doing it, but we'll see. But yeah, SpongeBob was a ton of fun. Well, okay, so Squidward was a ton of fun. SpongeBob the show is great, but boy, was this one of the most stressful shows I've been in because our director decided to have a ton of kids in the show, and this show does not need kids, and we didn't have someone to wrangle the kids. Oh yeah. So that means that the director's attention is split between the adult actors and the kid actors, which means the adults feel neglected at the best of times. So there was a bunch of backstage drama because of that, and it was just a mess at times backstage. So at the next board meeting, we talked about that and like, okay, we need if we're gonna have shows with kids like this, unless it's something like Joseph where we had like 4 kids in the whole show, we need to have the parents involved through the whole thing, just like we do with the kids show, because we're not. This is too much. Oh yeah. But yeah, I would totally do that. It's one of those shows where there's a ton of roles that I would love to do, but if I did it again, I just want to do Squidward again because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
So that's that. Let me think. Other than that, the biggest thing has been finishing out the school year. We have 4 more days. Can't freaking wait. Star testing was a nightmare because they found out like a week later that like they were apparently under the impression that the admin was apparently under the impression that I didn't have a certification at all because I have an uncertified contract. But the reality is I have a certification, just not in English, which is why I have the uncertified contract. But because I do have certification, that means I can proctor STAR. So they threw a bunch of small groups at me to proctor like 4 different STAR tests. And boy, proctoring STAR tests is the most mind-numbingly boring thing you can ever do in your life. Like, the state of Texas does not require that teachers not have any electronic devices, but it is a district requirement. So I couldn't have my phone on me or anything. Couldn't really have not supposed to have a book either, so I was just kind of walking around staring off into the void. I wish I could say I got some like book planning done, but no, I couldn't even. It was just so boring that I couldn't even get any creative juices flowing. But that's all done. And then someone from district came to the group of English teachers and said, "Hey, we want you to make sure to have they still need 2 test grades and they need a semester exam grade by the end of this marking period. So here's some projects that you can do. You can do your own project, but here's some projects that they can do." And I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at these projects. These are terrible, and I don't know how we could even do them because they're not done testing yet, actually. They have MAPS testing, and my 8th graders have TSI testing, and a bunch of my high schoolers have AP tests. So we're doing our own project. And oh boy, I just remember. Okay, so I'm gonna put some stuff in the Discord. I'm not gonna show it on the stream, but I'm gonna put some pictures from these are actual parts of actual submissions that I got from my high school. We've been reading To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay, all-time classic.
Yes, fantastic book. I'll get into it more when I go into what I read because I had to reread it for. But I had them do like a visual part where they I have them pick a scene from the book and they write a bit about it, and then they make a new cover for the book, and it's based on that scene. So this was for the visual part of that project. This was something that a student submitted.
How to Kill a Mockingbird for the future.
For the future.
What?
For the future.
Why is it so ominous?
I don't know. I don't know where, like, How to Kill a Mockingbird. I saw a bunch of mistakes like that throughout when we were doing it because they just don't think. But I don't know where For the Future came from.
Future. Just in case.
Just in case, yes. This was one of the written submissions. Look at the title of the writing portion.
Kill a marking board, writing portion.
Kill a marking board.
Kill a marking board. Now, I thought, okay, that's funny. That's a good joke. But I wasn't 100% sure, so I called the group up and said, "Hey, look at the title. Was that intentional?" And one of the students goes, "Oh no, that's a mistake."
Like, am I getting graded on the title?
They were worried about that. They were worried that I was grading them on title. I said, "No, I'm not. I'm not."
Then yes, it was intentional and a joke.
Just proofread next time.
Yeah. And then you remember in the scene in To Kill a Mockingbird where Atticus shoots the dog, right?
Yep.
Classic scene, and a bunch of students chose that scene. The dog's name is Tim Johnson, and so one of the students started off his writing portion with this.
All right, here we go. I choose the scene where Tim Johnson.
Wait.
Dr.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Give him extra credit. Give him. Oh my goodness. I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not. Oh man.
You gotta give that man extra credit.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Oh
That's
boy.
Really good.
It's I was reading that while I was standing in the hall doing my afternoon duty to watch the kids as they're leaving, making sure they're not beating the crap out of each other, and I had to just go and not just burst out laughing.
That's somehow I don't think I could have kept it together. I honestly don't think I would have been able to keep it together.
It was
fantastic. That's fantastic.
Man, I've never heard of a rabid dog from a book written in 1960 that takes place in 1930 described as tweaking.
It's amazing how language evolves over the course of generations when you think about it.
It's incredible.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh boy.
I love it.
So yeah, we high school we read To Kill a Mockingbird, and so I reread To Kill a Mockingbird for that, and man, that book is great. That book's fantastic. It's so unpretentious. Like a lot of the classics feel like they're almost aware of how important they are, but To Kill a Mockingbird is not that at all. It's just like, yeah, this is the story of how my brother broke his arm. This is this part of our lives. This is this part of our lives. This is this part. This was a really rough part. This is this part of our lives.
That's me. You might be wondering how I got in this.
You might be wondering how I got here.
My favorite part of To Kill a Mockingbird is when they see Tim Johnson tweaking, and they go, "He's behind me, isn't he?"
And his fit started fitching all over the place. Oh,
Man.
fucking $1 billion. Oh,
So I remember when, like, like a year or two after we read To Kill a Mockingbird in high school, there was a Go Set a Watchman came out,
yeah.
and there was a big hullabaloo about that because it's like, oh my gosh, it's a sequel to Kill a Mockingbird. She finally wrote a sequel. She finally wrote another book, and then it came out and it was particularly controversial.
Yeah.
It was not particularly good.
So
Yeah.
I looked up what the heck actually happened with that. Turns out
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it was a whole mess.
the marketing was a lie.
Yep.
It's not a sequel to Kill a Mockingbird.
Nope.
Yep.
It's an early
Hmm.
draft of To Kill a
Yep.
Mockingbird.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's not like
And it wasn't necessarily published by the actual author herself.
No.
Her
So
sister who was looking to cash in on some money.
because Harper Lee was like, and in her old age she was getting a little mentally infirm, but her sister was very protective of her and kept anyone from messing with her or exploiting her or anything. But then her sister died, and a month later they announced Go Set a Watchman, or like 3 months later. And that's pretty scummy. And
Yeah.
and people treated it like a sequel still because
No.
they got caught up in the marketing lies, the absolute lies that they told and let people tell. And there's a big controversy because Atticus Finch in Go Set a Watchman is racist, like overtly
Yeah.
racist. And people are like,
Yeah.
well, he was racist the whole time. I just read the book. He's not racist. He's like
No.
actively not racist. He lets a black woman raise his kids.
That doesn't necessarily. Okay, I'll stop. That doesn't necessarily mean. Like,
For Alabama in the 1930s, he's about as not racist as you could possibly get.
1930s. I beg to differ, but listen, the point of the matter isn't necessarily that. Oh,
He wasn't a Klansman or anything like that.
It was never overt in To Kill a Mockingbird, you know? So there was still some kind of like I won't say like he is, but it was never like the point isn't whether or not it was about his skin tone. It was about this isn't right, so he's going to like take up for him. That's it. But it is a bit of a character assassination, especially since it is a draft and not an actual like
Yes.
you know.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Atticus defends Tom Robinson because it's his job, and no one else was going to do it, but he's going to do it, and he's going to do it the best job he can because he does.
Yeah.
Because it does not matter to him
Yeah.
that he's a black man. He's a man who's been wrongfully accused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compare that to Go Set a Watchman. It's very different. He's a very different character, and people say, well, maybe he changed over time, but you've got it backwards. It's not that Atticus went from who he is in To Kill a Mockingbird to who he is in Go Set a Watchman, because he's not a real person. He's a character. He's a fictional character who started off the way he was in Go Set a Watchman until Harper Lee rewrote it, and then you get who he is in To Kill a Mockingbird. And Go Set a Watchman's bad. Unless you read it as a first draft. If you read it as a first draft, you can and compare it to Kill a Mockingbird, then it's like, oh, this is an interesting look at the writing process. How does it go from this version to this version? And if they had marketed it as that, nobody would have an issue.
But nobody would have bought it.
Nobody would have bought it. Exactly.
do you want to buy the first draft of a book that's already good? No. I'll
No.
just buy the book. So,
Like Brandon Sanderson has released all the drafts of Warbreaker for free.
oh no. Oof.
He wrote that book like publicly publishing, like he asked Tor like, hey, I want to show everyone like the writing process. I want to give them a look in the writing process. Can I just publish these drafts for free? And they were like, yeah, sure. So
What's the general consensus in this group about Warbreaker? I'm sorry to detract from you, Zach. I'm,
No, it's fine.
I'm a bit curious. What did you all think of Warbreaker? if you've
Warbreaker is
read it?
great until the end, and then it just kind of stops.
Okay. All right.
The story just goes like, finish it up, done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it
Yeah.
is.
More or less
It's
that.
rushed. That's
Like,
the
I
best
like
way
all
I
the
can describe it.
characters in it. I just wish the ending was better.
Yes. And me personally, the characters that I most wanted to see what happened to them afterward were not the characters who got the epilogue.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Vivenna and Vasher are great.
Yeah.
I love them, and I do want to see what happens to them. But the entire society in the city that Brandon's been building and world building this whole book just got completely turned upside down, and we're not even going to look at the ramifications of that.
No. Why would we? It just ends.
Just ends.
It just ends.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Also, shout out to my boy Light Song. Let's go.
Yeah!
The light song.
That song's great.
Mm-hmm.
Love him.
Pour one out for light song.
Also, he also probably saw like way end game Cosmere stuff in one of those paintings.
Well, dang.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back and read Warbreaker trying to figure out Cosmere stuff.
I will say, Warbreaker has my favorite Sanderson magic system. It's a controversial take.
It is an interesting one.
It's my favorite because it's the least hard of all his magic systems. Which is a phrase that I've said now on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Warbreaker because it's the least hard.
It's the least hard. It's the most soft.
It's the most soft.
There it is.
We love it when it's soft.
Yes.
No, I think my favorite's probably whatchamacallit, Stormlight Archives magic system. I still think it's
great.
coolest.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
My brother is obsessed with.
I'm so pretty
Mistborn.
partial with the Mistborn one. It's like people eat metal. That's pretty metal.
Pretty great.
That's pretty metal, guys.
Oh yeah. Kill a Mockingbird is great. I love it. So I did watch the movie for the first time. I had actually never seen the movie. I'd seen bits and pieces, but never the whole thing. And because the last few days of school, I don't want to do anything, we're going to be watching the movie in class. So I watched it myself, previewing the movie, yada, yada, yada. That movie's fantastic. That movie's almost as good as the book.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
I
think it's my mom's favorite movie.
I can totally see why. Gregory Peck is fantastic, and I forget the girl, but the girl who plays Scout is incredible. There's so many things, especially in the scenes between her and Gregory Peck and Atticus are the best scenes in the movie. But there's so many little mannerisms she does when she's like just kind of standing around talking and fidgeting. That's like, oh, that is exactly how kids talk. They don't just stand there and talk and recite lines. They stand there and fidget around and just kind of mess around with their hands and stretch around in weird ways because they have so much energy. Great. And yes, the courtroom scene is fantastic because yeah,
of course.
Yeah. And Gregory Peck did that in one take, which is incredible. But yeah, that good movie. For my eighth graders, so that we're doing that in high school. My eighth graders, we're doing. We've read murder mysteries. I had a different project for them doing murder mystery stuff. I can tell when some of them, like, we had like periodically, so I could take some daily grades. Like, hey, who do you think the killer is? And I can tell when some of them look it up. I can tell because it's like, oh, you guessed it correctly. This character's barely been introduced, and I know you have not been paying attention. You specifically have not been paying attention at all, and you guessed it correctly. Yeah, so for them, we're going to be watching the Kenneth Branagh Murder on the Orient Express. That's a good movie, and it has some recognizable faces in there, so they can freak out when I tell them, oh yeah, that guy's Aaron Burr from Hamilton. And they go, what? I love Hamilton.
Wait, Glass Onion?
No, Murder on the Orient Express.
Ah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah,
that was
he
yeah, that was
is in
Leslie
that.
Odom Jr. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that until I looked it up.
Believe it or not, he's a good actor.
He's a very good actor. There's really only one performance in that movie that's kind of and it's a pretty small role, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm excited for the week to be over. Start summer. Can't wait. I did get kind of voluntold to help out on to fill in for someone on the Six Flags trip on Thursday, so
Oh no. You gotta go to Six Flags.
I got to chaperone a bunch of 8th graders
Ah.
around Six Flags.
Man.
It's not that bad. My friend Kevin, he was stuck with 6th graders for a bit until he talked his way out of it. He also doesn't like roller coasters that much.
Fair enough. I can get to that.
Yeah, he was never the biggest fan, and then one day he said he and his sister were at Six Flags riding the Judge Roy Scream over and over because it was a slow day at Six Flags, and at one point they were riding it for like the 5th time in a row, and kind of go because it's not that scary a ride, and then it goes up and down and up and down, and when it comes back up, it like jumps off the tracks a little bit.
Yep.
And slams back on. And then since then, it's just never been the same. Good old Judge Roy Scream. But yeah, so that'll be. I can't wait for that to be over. But this summer, I am gonna be chaperoning on the New York and DC trip.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. I did find out what Broadway show we're seeing and what Smithsonian we're seeing. We're going to. Unfortunately, we're only going to one Smithsonian, which sucks because I've never been to any Smithsonian. But we're going to the. I think they said it's the most recent one, the African American one. I forget the name of it. That'll be cool.
The African American History Museum.
Yes, that one.
That's a good one.
Good.
That's a good one.
Awesome.
Just prepare.
Okay.
Just prepare.
I've been to a Holocaust museum or two. I'm expecting something similar at certain points.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
It gets better though. It gets better.
Well, yeah. There's actually better stuff to talk about, or more uplifting stuff to talk about than with the Holocaust.
Yeah. It's a good museum. It's a good museum though.
Yes.
Museum.
And the Broadway show we're seeing is The Wiz.
Ah, nice.
Which I'm a little disappointed with. The Wiz is fine.
But you gotta get on down the road.
Let's ease on down the road, actually.
Okay, first of all, you should watch your tone. Second of all,
Yeah, The Wiz is fine. I'm honestly seriously thinking about if I can just sneak away at some point and go watch Sweeney Todd.
oh yeah,
That's on Broadway right now, and that wasn't an option at all.
Yeah,
I
I
get
mean, I
it.
guess it makes sense
It's
for
8th graders,
yeah.
so I get it. But
Tell them about Hades Town. Tell them about Hades Town.
I wish, because they got a new Hades, or not Hades, Hermes coming in, so I want to see how he does
Oh,
it.
they do. Oh,
They got, and also Orpheus is new, and apparently, and from
Yeah.
from the little bits I saw, he's pretty good too.
it's a good show. I'll tell you what.
Great show, freaking amazing
Definitely
show.
worth seeing.
One of my
Definitely worth
top 5
seeing.
shows. And I'll go into a little bit of that.
Hadestown is really good.
Hadestown is fantastic. I'll go into a little bit of top 5 shows in a bit, but I'll come back to that. But yeah, the options were like Sweeney Todd was a no. They don't. The company we're going with is not going to do that. And
Hard
then
no.
if we wanted to do Hamilton or Lion King, those we had to pay extra, so we did not do either of those.
Yeah,
Because Hamilton is still real big popular, and Lion King still makes the most money.
Oh yeah, of course.
I've said it for a while. Like Phantom's gone, and that's bad news for Broadway. But the real bad news of Broadway is no longer the center of theater in America is if Lion King goes.
Yeah.
Because Lion King makes $1 bajillion.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Frozen's not on Broadway anymore. Lion King is still on Broadway. It makes the most money it has made the most money of any musical, any Broadway musical, and it still makes a ton of money. But yeah.
Oh, what? That's on Broadway? I didn't know. My neighbor created a time machine, and now my mother is interested in dating me. Is on Broadway. I didn't know.
Yes, it is. I forgot about that.
I'm only ever referring to that as that. I'm never calling it anything else.
Well. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. What else? What else? I'll continue a bit with reading because I did read a little bit more. Kill a Mockingbird was the main thing, and kind of going back through the murder mysteries that we were reading. I haven't really made any more progress on Dune, so that's unfortunate. I will get back to it soon. I did have to proctor another test. It was the TSI test for a small group, so during that I just read a short story.
Okay.
And I'll get to why I picked it in a bit, but I read a Tolstoy short story called The Death of Ivan Ilyich. Tolstoy. Guy wrote War and Peace.
Yeah. Was this short story 200 pages? Or
it was not. It was less than 100 pages.
Wow. Okay.
And it was very, very good. It is about the death of Ivan Ilyich. Like the first little chapter is he's dead, and everyone's going to his funeral, and people are like, "Yeah, he's dead." His wife is asking one of his friends, "Hey, is there any way I can get some more money from the insurance?" His friend's like, "I mean, you can go call this person, but I don't know. That's your best bet." And his friend's like, the entire time, his friend's thinking, "I don't really want to be here. I wish I could go play cards with the guys." And he goes into the room and he sees the body, and then his brain's just like, "That could be me. That could be me. That could be me. That could be me." And he leaves because that feels bad. And then the whole rest of the story is like following the life of Ivan goes back to like following the whole life of Ivan Ilyich up to the point where he's like getting sick and dying, and then he's on his deathbed realizing, oh no, I've done nothing of worth in my entire life. My entire life is meaningless. Oh dear Lord, no. What is there anything I can do to have meaning at this point, or is it too late? Is there anything good I can do? I've made every decision wrong in my whole life, just quietly wrong. Not even like overtly wrong, like I committed crimes. Just every single decision I made, just a tiny wrong turn. And it's been to just have no meaning in my life. Is there any way I can have some meaning before the end? And then, who knows? Maybe
It's
Russian literature.
Yeah, I was about to say. So
It's the most Russian literature you can find. In fact, Tolstoy is the more of the two great Russian writers, Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. Tolstoy is the optimistic one.
Yep.
I haven't even read Dostoevsky yet. I can't wait.
Crime and Punishment.
I that is on my list. That is the first Dostoevsky I'm going to read. After I read Anna Karenina, I started to go right into that, but then I was like, I just read an entire Russian novel. I need a break.
There's a Dostoevsky flowchart that I need to
My
I need to
gosh.
find at some point. But it's like start with Crime and Punishment, and then like, what did you get from it? What did you feel about it? Here's the next one you need to read. I gotta find it. I'll search for it. I'll search for it in the meantime.
Yes, please do. That sounds great. But the reason I got turned on to Death of Ivan Ilyich, and I'm probably gonna pick up one of the other short stories in that collection, because it's just the thing I bought was just a whole collection of Tolstoy short stories and novellas. The reason I got turned on to that was because I bought War and Peace. I did not read War and Peace.
The full version or the abridged version?
The full version with the Pevear and Volokhonsky translation. Is the somewhat relatively recent award-winning translation.
Okay, all right. Also, I found the flowchart.
Oh boy, let me see this.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but
Let's. I'll have to look at that on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I picked it up, and I like skimmed a certain section, and the reason I skimmed that certain section was because I had decided on I can't remember what prompted me. But I saw a clip of a musical on like a YouTube video. And the music was really good, so I was like, hey, I've heard about this musical. Let me go check it out. And the musical is
say it!
Natasha
Say the
Pierre and
name!
the Great Comet of 1812.
There it is! There it
Ooh.
is. Yep. All-time goated musical.
I have not
Criminal-
stopped listening to this musical for over a month now.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
It's been on my rotation like at least once a week. It's so good.
Absolutely robbed at the Tonys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it had the unfortunate misfortune of going up against frickin' Dear Evan Hansen, which was the Tony Darling that year.
Yeah.
But hey, it was Josh Groban's Broadway debut,
Yeah.
and he went on to become Sweeney Todd in the revival,
Hey, listen.
and he's pretty good in both. Yeah, it's Great Comet is fantastic. And for those of you who don't know, it is an adaptation of about 70 to 100 pages of War and Peace, right in the middle of War and Peace.
Not even the whole thing. Just this segment.
Just the segment.
Just the whole thing.
And when I say adaptation, I mean like this thing quotes War and Peace. Sometimes the lyrics are literally just quotes from War and Peace. The whole last 2 songs are basically just quoting the book. Like looked at my copy, and he Dave Malloy, the guy who wrote it, is like working from a different translation, so I'm not sure how much of it is his own little changes here and there to fit with the reader, and how much of it is just translation differences. But it is like almost just about word for word the same, and it's incredible. And the music is one of those that the more you dig into it, the better it gets. Like there's so many little details here everywhere in the music. Like the fact that Pierre's first song and his last song, the finale, both use the same melody to start, or the same melody a bit, but because he's having an epiphany at both points. But whereas in the beginning, he has it modulates up a bit and then goes down into like a pre-chorus section or chorus section, however you classify it. In the finale, it continues to modulate up because he's getting to a higher enlightenment at that point. There's so many details like that throughout. It's incredibly written. But I'll be honest, the part that I keep thinking about is the one part in the middle of the chase song where it just out of nowhere Pierre like starts singing just a Russian folk song. And just starts singing in Russian at one point.
Yep.
And
good show.
And like I looked up, I scoured the internet for a bit for a translation, and the translation, like Dave Malloy like commented on like a translation for it on like Genius or something like that, where he's like, yeah, I asked for a specific translation of this, and they said, yeah, there's no exact translation of this. Just kind of it means wishing someone something like wishing someone good safe travels and things like that. There's no exact translation.
Oh, buddy. Oh, man. Wishing him well. Little did he know.
Yeah.
Really?
But I also was able to find a bootleg recording of
Yes!
the show on YouTube.
Support your local bootleggers.
Yeah. And dude, this bootleg recording was weird because it was like taken over multiple nights.
Oh,
Multiple nights from multiple different
Yeah.
angles.
yeah.
Like at some points, it looks professional, if not for the camera quality. Because the show's staging is really weird. It's really weird, so they can get really close to the actors because they have people sitting like basically on the stage with the actors.
Because that's actually how the show initially started off Broadway. It was
off Broadway.
kind of
That all the seating was like the actors were going through all the seating because Dave Malloy was inspired by a time when he went to a Russian music club.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to recreate that experience. And then when it got to Broadway, they were like, okay, we can't do the entire theater like this, but we can take out the orchestra and the first few seats in the theater and build the stage out like that. And just for that alone, it would be an incredible experience. On top of that, you have actors playing a lot of the instruments at times. Like Josh Groban starts off the show by playing an accordion. And then there are a lot of points, especially during his own songs, where he'll play the piano and sing at the same time before moving on as the conductor takes over. Oh, it's so good. Incredible show.
Great show. I was introduced to it in college, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing!" And it was like, "Oh yeah, it's off Broadway now." And I was like,
It kind of flopped on Broadway, and you go, no,
horribly. It flopped horribly.
No.
Unfortunately,
it's so unfortunate. Oh. But apparently, it's done well overseas.
Oh hey, I bet. They saw the vision. They see the vision.
I saw. It was in some Asian country. I saw like a little clip of a production of that. I can't remember if it was Japan or Korea. It was somewhere over there. They had a production of it going. Like, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That show's great. It is now in my top 5. It's not 1 or 2. Number 1 is Sweeney Todd. Number 2 is Hunchback. But the 3, 4, and 5 is just, it's something between Beauty and the Beast, The Great Comet, and Hadestown. Hard to choose between them. But yeah, I also listened to a little bit of something that is out of my usual wheelhouse, because there was a bit of controversy in the music world.
Uh-oh.
Oh, are you perhaps referring to a beef between two
Yes,
musicians?
a bit of beef, a bit of a
Now we're
Ah.
getting into the big one.
the big beef. Yes.
Oh, yes.
I didn't think we'd talk about that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is how serious I this shit has reached so many circles.
All right, well then one of y'all can explain it because I've been keeping out of it. I still don't care.
Oh boy.
You know what I've been listening to this past month? I've been listening to the Guilty Gear Strive soundtrack.
Hey.
I have never touched Guilty Gear in my life. But I am jamming to that soundtrack.
Heart is bullshit blazing.
Still my heart is blazing.
Amazing. But anyway. Yeah, I forgot to mention that I just finished watching Wooly's entire retrospective of the Guilty
Yeah.
Gear lore.
Yeah.
I am so glad I don't play Guilty Gear because that crap is convoluted as hell.
It's a fighting
Man,
game.
I'm so glad I don't play
story.
Guilty Gear.
And people call Kingdom Hearts convoluted.
I mean, you're not off the hook. It definitely is.
Well,
But
It is
compared to
still
Guilty Gear,
Okay, who plays Guilty Gear?
who plays Guilty Gear for the story?
apparently enough
my
people for
friend-
a retrospective.
My friend Caden does. He was literally talking about it to me today.
Your friend is a weird person. Tell him I said
He
that.
is.
He's
I
a weird
will.
person. Okay. This one random dude I know says you're weird.
Oh my
This one guy you've never met in your entire life.
So bad guy. His
And
actual
never
name,
will.
Fred. Frederick. My
He's the most beefy Chad looking dude ever. Super
name?
science nerd.
dork.
Absolute nerd.
Like Cyril and Meyer Flash. Oh, Guilty Gear.
But on to real world things.
Yeah,
Beef?
the beef. I enjoyed hearing about the beef from both a friend of mine and on Castle Super Beast, where they basically described it as Drake did like a little kind of went up to Kendrick and kind of just smacked him in the face just a little bit, and then Kendrick pulled out a gun and shot him in the head.
I mean, yeah.
Musically.
And then Drake came back with the weakest response.
No.
of all.
The first response was
first, sorry.
actually pretty
Sorry.
decent. He actually
I zoned
put
out
in
for a second.
He put an effort for the first time in like decades. And then
Yeah,
30
push-ups
minutes
is good.
30 minutes later, Kendrick dropped 2 diss tracks that just blew it out of the water.
Literally the hypest thing I've ever listened to in my entire life.
And then
I was
Drake
getting,
came
I
out
was
with the
getting
response
so
that's-
freaking, I was getting so freaking pumped up over something I care so little about.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it.
And then
I
Drake
ju-
came out with the response where the entire response is basically just like, "I'm not a pedo, guys. Guys, I'm not a pedo.
Guys, listen,
I don't
trust
touch-"
me.
It's that clip from It's Always Sunny. We gotta make a song. It's all about how we don't touch kids. You know, don't touch kids, wouldn't do anything young
I
with
do
my
not diddle.
daughter.
I do not diddle kids. I do not diddle kids.
I do truly think that Drake probably would have gotten a better response, or if not a similar response, if that last track was just like a backing beat and him just going no. It would have done the same thing. It would have done the same thing, honestly. But
I'm rubber, you are glue. No.
No. So I did listen. I didn't listen to Drake's crap because I don't care that much, but I did listen
Yeah.
to some of Kendrick's stuff, and yeah, he's very good. Even if this isn't
Kendrick
my
is.
particular cup of
oh.
tea, this is very good.
my God,
And
I
so I did start listening to Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh, the
Oh.
best. Oh my
Oh.
god.
oh, okay.
Oh
all
my
right.
god. Best rap album, 21st century. Easy.
Very good. I appreciate a lot of the jazz references in there. I really did.
It was literally, it was so good. They gave Damn the Nobel Prize for Literature just so everybody could say, oh yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly won him that one.
Nice. But yeah,
Or is it the Nobel Prize? He won something.
won a Pulitzer.
Nobel Prize for
He won a Pulitzer.
music. He won something for
Literature?
Damn.
Kendrick Lamar has a Pulitzer Prize. for-
Pulitzer, that's it.
Pulitzer.
That's. I think it was. I think it wasn't To Pimp a Butterfly, actually.
It
It
the
was
lyrics
Damn. It was
are
Damn that won.
Very, very good.
No, actually, you're right. It wasn't Damn. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And then literally as soon as he won it, everybody was like, "Yeah, that was for To Pimp a Butterfly." Like, Damn is good, but like,
Damn is good,
you
but
can't
Pimp a
you can't
Butterfly-
beat T-Pep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna finish up listening to that at some point, and then I'll probably listen to Good Kid, Mad City because I've heard good things about that.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'll move on past that, just because as much as I do appreciate it, it's not the genre's just not my cup of tea.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
But again, I like Kendrick's stuff so far because of a lot of the jazz references into Pimp a Butterfly, and I've heard Good Kid, Mad City has a lot of that, so I think I'll enjoy that.
Listen, the only Kendrick song you need to listen to is that one right there.
Don't wait, don't. I mean, you can,
Listen,
but not. I think you're gonna be a bit disappointed with that one.
Listen,
I'm gonna-
that song's gonna make you curl your toes right there.
I think the only Kendrick song I really need to listen to is Not Like Us.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody loves Not Like That, Not Like Us, and I'm gonna be real with you. Great diss. I still think I like Euphoria the best out of everything.
Euphoria was pretty good. Euphoria was pretty good.
Listen. I know. Kendrick hitting he tried to hit a chord. It's probably A minor. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's great. But there are just so many points. And listen.
Really dude.
What is it? The braids?
The part in
Look,
Euphoria
that
where he's
was-
like, I hate the way you walk,
Wait,
I hate the way you talk, and all, and just, I hate the way you say the N-word. It's like, oh.
That's just me.
It just hits different.
Ugh.
God, it's just insane how much of a better lyricist Kendrick is.
Oh,
compared to
absolutely.
Drake.
100%.
Drake has some pretty catchy tunes. Like, I like some Drake, sure, but like, God, you just can't beat Kendrick at the lyric game. You just can't beat him.
Look,
think
Drake has a lot of money for a lot of producers.
There you go.
It's also really obvious how in Euphoria, and especially in Not Like Us, how much fun Kendrick is having. Man,
Oh, yeah.
he's out rapping him, and he's funny as hell. Like, effortlessly funny without even trying. And he's still just rapping circles. He's rapping. I'd say mostly rapping circles around Drake, at least in this At least in the feud.
Look,
Just
Look,
oh.
this beef was fantastic, but I'm just waiting on those receipts, man. When are we gonna get the bomb? When are we gonna get the nuclear bombs dropped? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, apparently someone saw Kendrick like in his house, and he looks like he's been staying up for a week straight just writing.
I
Oh,
believe it.
God.
Kendrick said he
He's
had
ready.
more than 10 disses ready.
Did you? I can't wait for every time Drake releases a new single. 30 minutes later, Kendrick releases one of his diss tracks.
That was so funny. Do you know how many times I pulled out the fucking "Sir, there's been a second diss track" meme to my friend? You know how many times I pulled that out? Oh, that weekend was amazing. I was sitting at a party. I looked at my phone and I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Again?
Again? It hasn't even been an hour." Oh man. Yeah, that was fun. In terms of other things I listened to, that's it for music. But I have listened to some Doctor Who audio dramas to completely shift gears.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I listened to I think like three going on 4 of them. I'm working my way through those. Those are a lot of fun. There was one with the 7th Doctor where he does the 7th Doctor thing where he has a scheme to trick and defeat the enemies, and that scheme involves lying to his companions and lying to everybody around him and seeming like he's betraying them when he's actually just getting the enemies into a trap. And it's very obvious in this one that it's like, yeah, they're taking full advantage of the fact that they don't have to show any of the body horror. They just have to describe it and do sound effects. Because there's parts where people start turning into bugs, and you have people walking around partially transformed into bugs, and it's horrifying, and they're just like in horrific pain and screaming, and it's like they don't have to show this, so they can do whatever the heck they want.
Nice.
So that was fun. Nothing too special, but it was pretty fun. There was one with the 5th Doctor where he went up against the Daleks, and it was a time paradox story, which was a lot of fun, trying to fix a paradox where the Daleks accidentally release accidentally get infected with a mutagen that transforms them into bugs that eat the entire universe. They kill everything in the whole universe. And so we gotta fix that, because that's really bad. That's not good. So you have a bit of time paradox stuff there going on. And like they go to every point, they can travel through time too, so they go to every single point in time and kill everything too. And then there was a 6th Doctor story, and this one was the best of those 3. It's called The Holy Terror, and it starts off as an interesting mystery that's a bit wacky. It has I believe it's an audio original companion called Frobisher, and he's a shapeshifter, and the entire story he spends it shapeshifted as a penguin.
Nice.
Because why not? But him and the Doctor get transported by the TARDIS to a world that is just a castle, and there's weird things going on there with the religion in the world. Like it starts off with the God King is dead. You were worshiping him as a god. If you do not recant, then you will you will be executed. It's like, well then, I guess I recant. All right, no problem. Here, sign this form. All right, yeah, you're good to go. And it starts off. The first two parts are an interesting mystery that's exploring like the weird, mysterious religion in this place and everything, and also having a bit of fun with it because at one point the new God King, he says, "Well, I don't really feel particularly deific. I don't think I am a god. So, hey, Frobisher, you you came out of the sky. You've predicted a bunch of things, and you have a lot of good ideas. You'll be God. You'll be God now." And so they make a big old statue of this penguin and worship him as a god. And then you get to part 3, and part 3 becomes so dark. Suddenly this godlike being, child being, comes into the picture, and there's a scene where he takes a woman, ages her down into a baby, and then kills the baby.
Ooh.
And then starts going around killing everybody. And there's parts where they realize that this whole place, the whole castle, is a construction. It's a construct for one man's prison. There's one person who's real, and he's a guy who had a severe mental illness and ended up killing his son. And so this whole thing is tormenting him and punishing him for that. And so everybody in there is fake. So they're all playing roles. The high priest always betrays the king, and then the cycle continues. Like it goes in cycles. They all continue. They keep playing the same roles. The high priest always betrays the king and tries to help the younger brother who's evil and is deformed and all that. And so at one point the high priest meets the doctor, and he says, "I don't want to betray you, but something in me is just telling me that I have to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to break out of this." And the doctor says, I wish you the best of luck, but you're not real." And so the doctor leaves, and the godlike child baby shows up at the runs into the high priest, and the high priest immediately gives the doctor away, even though he doesn't want to. And there's a ton of just moments like that. It's really dark, just kind of almost out of nowhere. Like, it's building up in the background for the first 2 parts, but once part 3 hits, it just goes really hard, really dark. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it if you already know the premise of Doctor Who. If you know the premise of Doctor Who, if you're somewhat familiar with it, you could jump right into that. It is on Spotify for free. And then I've also started going into a little farther with a story that I've already listened to, but I'm listening to it again because I'm listening to it all in order, called Storm Warning, which is the first 8th Doctor audio adventure, which is really nice because the 8th Doctor only got a TV movie, and it's terrible. But he did actually get a short, just a little special right before the 50th anniversary that leads into the 50th anniversary, where he actually got to play the Doctor on screen again for the first time since the TV movie, and Paul McGann does a fantastic job. They even reference a lot of the audio adventures in that, so it's nice. It's nice that he got even just that. I think I saw a bit where he appears in one of the 13th Doctor's adventures. I might watch that, but 13th Doctor stuff is real bad. Apparently the new stuff isn't that much better either, so that's unfortunate. But I'm watching Classic Who anyway, so I don't care. But yeah, Eighth Doctor's first adventure is a lot of fun. He's on a Zeppelin that is doomed to crash, and it's being attacked by these creatures that are basically. Do you know the Langoliers by
Oh,
Stephen
yeah.
King?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, they're basically those. They're basically those. Like the Zeppelin gets kind of out of place in time, so the Doctor like pushes it forward, but the not Langoliers are kind of followed him through. So they're attacking the ship, and at the same time, the ship is carrying a mysterious passenger who it turns out is an alien, and their secret mission is to make contact with the aliens. So there's interesting stuff that goes on there. But yeah, that's fun. Speaking of Doctor Who, I've watched a lot of classic Doctor Who.
It continues.
Who'd have thunk it? Me watching classic Doctor Who? That's crazy. But yeah, I've gone through at least another season of Tom Baker. Let me see if let me see. Yeah, another season. So, this season's very different from the previous seasons because the previous seasons were what people call the Gothic era of the show, where it was very very dark, very daring. They were doing a bunch of stuff that like barely got past the censors and everything. And then one of the head scriptwriters left, and or one of the head script editors left, and a lot of the BBC, or maybe not the BBC in particular, but a lot of entities started cracking down on keeping things cleaner in the television. So they cleaned up the show a little bit, made it a bit more family friendly. But there's still good stuff there. I will say though, the effects have gotten even worse.
Oh no.
There was one episode where they're on Gallifrey, and Gallifrey is and the Doctor is doing a scheme where he's pretending to go along with these aliens so that he can trap them and defeat them and figure out who exactly they are and everything. And the aliens, when they show up, they are literally green screened silhouettes of tin foil.
Nice.
And it's even like crackling like tin foil.
Lovely.
It's terrible. And I love it because I love it when it's terrible. There's good episodes here. There's some real good episodes here. There's one where they land on a planet where the whole thing is run by the company, and they have death taxes. Like when someone dies, you have to pay their taxes to be buried, and the taxes can get raised out of nowhere. Let me see. There was. There's a new companion now, Romana, who is a time lady, and her and the Doctor go to a planet where this season has the first actual serialized story arc for Doctor Who. It's not just episodic; it's a whole story arc that goes over the whole season, where they're looking for the pieces of the key to time, or the key of time. So the first place they go to is a planet where it's medieval technology, but there's people there who are kind of exploiting it. Some con artists who are trying to sell the fake mines on the planet and everything. There's like including the Doctor and Romana. There's like 4 different factions that kind of twist around each other, but it's written very well, so it's actually not hard to keep track of, even though it's only 4 episodes. So they're doing good. This most recent one, did I finish it yet? I don't know that I finished this story arc yet. No, I haven't. It's called The Pirate Planet, and it's written by Douglas Adams.
Really?
Oh shit.
Yes. He wrote a couple Doctor Who stories. And this one's a lot of fun. It's
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams.
Yes,
All right.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams.
Huh. Well, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. The whole premise of this is that they're on a planet that the planet essentially teleports from planet to planet and follows out the planet and consumes it for money. And then they transport to a new planet and do the same thing. So they're trying to figure out what's going on there and how to get the piece of the key of time. So yeah, it's fun. Classic Who is weird, wacky, and a ton of fun. At some point, I'll have to get y'all to watch something. Some classic Doctor Who. I'll come up with like an essentials list.
Yeah, do that.
Because there's some crap. There's some crap in this. I love Doctor Who, but there's some crap.
So on a scale from Naruto to One Piece, are you gonna make like a here's the essential story episodes. Here's the fillers that you can skip. Oh, this wasn't in the Doctor manga.
Listen, look, it wasn't a problem in the Doctor Who manga, but there's a bit of filler over here, so you can just kind of skip that. This filler you have to kind of keep because for some reason they worked the filler into the main storyline. So,
oh boy.
Remember when Bleach did that? Wasn't that fun? Remember Bleach?
No, I never watched. No, I don't. I never watched Bleach.
You're smarter than me. You're smarter than 16-year-old Zach. Dear Lord, that was over 10 years ago. Oh no.
What do you mean? You're not currently watching the 1,000-Year Blood War arc? What
no,
do you
because I have standards.
Whoa, that's in the big three. You better watch your tone.
Yeah, and of the big three, One Piece is really the only one that's worthwhile long term. Naruto has some fun stuff, but
One Piece isn't finished yet.
Yeah, and the manga's still
Big Piece
good.
is the only one or what did I say? One Piece is the only one worth watching, including the 7,000 filler episodes.
No.
Funny. You're funny.
Hey guys, don't worry.
I would
the
much
anime
rather
gets
just
good-
watch
the anime gets good after 500
I would much rather watch.
episodes.
Oh my god, the 500 episodes thing. I would much rather watch the definitive edition, which is, of course, the live-action Netflix version.
I mean,
my bad.
Anime to me just doesn't exist. It's a plebs way of consuming media.
That's fair. That's fair. You know, honestly, I completely forgot. Yeah, that's right. Bleach doesn't have a live action version, therefore
That's
it's
true.
the
That's
worst
true.
one.
It sucks.
Does
Sucks.
Naruto
Awful.
have a live
Terrible.
action? I don't know.
Don't look into it.
Well, see, Death Note does, so Death Note is great.
Yeah.
Death Note is 2, but in one of them they're speaking Japanese, so that's not real.
Yep.
That's not real. Japan doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah, it's fake. It's fake country. Fake language. Speak American.
That's what I'm saying. God bless America. Yeehaw.
Another thing I watched is I've watched some more X-Men Evolution. I am shocked
Oh,
at how
yeah.
much of this show I remember. Holy crap. There were whole episodes, especially in the first and second season, where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this whole thing. Every single bit. I remember the whole thing.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm working through it. I'm already into the 3rd season, and there's only 4, and the last 2 seasons are shorter for some reason. At some point, I'll finish this, and then I'll start on the old X-Men show, so that I can watch X-Men '97.
Just watch it.
No.
It's good.
Yeah.
And I did watch one more thing. I watched. Finally, I watched Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Is
It's
of Oppenheimer.
paradoxical.
Nice.
And yet, it works.
Good movie. I will say, it was a little awkward to watch that with my parents when out of nowhere there's a graphic sex scene.
That's the best part of the movie.
Why was he sitting in the chair like that? What?
Hey, Mom,
What?
Dad, let me show you this little indie gem called Game of Thrones.
Oh gosh. Dude, I would not be able to sit through the frickin' scene in season 1 where Littlefinger is expositing while 2 whores are going at it. Oh, jeez. Fine, my mom would never watch Game of Thrones anyway.
No, I got a worse one. I tried watching the Netflix Witcher with my parents.
Whoa.
I was like, I mean, it's Netflix. How
It's Netflix.
explicit is it going to be?
It's Netflix.
Yeah, no, it's like, I was like, how explicit could they possibly make it? And then like they mentioned that wizard dude. I'm like, oh no, I made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, Oppenheimer's good.
Yeah, that was a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
No, I was like, nope, no more Witcher. We're not doing this again.
Yeah, what? Yeah, Mitchell, it's The Witcher. And it's Netflix.
I didn't know how explicit they would be in Netflix. I didn't know how
Netflix. Netflix is like notorious now for throwing in a sex scene so that you don't get bored.
It's like, well, I didn't know that because I don't watch that much Netflix.
Fair.
For the best, honestly. It's expensive.
It was like the first time I'd opened up Netflix in like 2 years. I didn't know that they did that now. I was like,
Wow,
yeah,
they
I
were
like
doing
the
that
book.
back when I was in college.
I just don't. But yeah, terrible mistake. I was just like, oh no, not this wizard. Okay, maybe, no, oh no.
I think you should play Witcher 1 with your mom and dad. And collect all the girl trading cards.
No, I'm not. I did not do that. I never will.
Fine, that requires
I'm
3
the
full
complete-
playthroughs to do.
It's like I'm the completionist. I didn't do the sex trading cards.
Don't. Number one, it requires 3 full playthroughs to get them because
Yeah,
there's
of course.
specific
That's
ones.
why I did. It's so weird.
And number 2, that means you'd have to play The Witcher 1 3 times through.
That means you'd have to play The Witcher 1. Yeah.
I love The Witcher
Once
1.
is enough.
Maybe
like,
maybe when the remake comes out.
If it ever comes out.
Anyway, Oppenheimer's a good movie. I don't really have a ton more to say. I will say the memes confused me because I saw that picture of Oppenheimer smiling and I was like, oh, is he gonna smile at the end? Oh no, he doesn't.
Nope.
I thought he was. My brain was like, he's supposed to smile now. Yeah, that's a good movie. From my understanding, it's maybe a little too generous about Oppenheimer not being a security risk because that was a kangaroo court, but he was a bit of a security risk. Just because of the people he.
Make the bomb.
Make the bomb.
Oh my god, you made a bomb?
I can't
Bro, what
believe
the
you made a bomb. Hey,
That
Oppie.
kills people.
Hey, Oppie, I'm definitely not talking to the communists. Can you tell me about that bomb you made?
Just give me a little bit of information. That'd
Just
be
a little
cool.
bit.
Little tidbit.
What? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm sad about my side chick killing herself. Can you give me a little bit about the bomb?
I just love bombs, man. What can I tell you?
I just like look. It's I'm not look. I stopped talking to the Russians years ago. I just like bombs. Just like bombs. Yeah, they Christopher Nolan did good. Did good. It's his first biopic, and he did a good job. From what I've heard about Tenet, this is a bit of a return to form in terms of quality.
Yeah, Tenet's just kind of disappointing.
Tenet
Not
is
bad. I don't think it's a bad movie.
Tenet is a great action movie.
Yeah.
The action in Tenet, awesome.
I did see
was-
some action scenes in Tenet, and they were pretty great. And then I heard someone trying to explain what was happening in those action scenes, and I was baffled.
It makes sense. It makes sense if you see the movie, but the movie itself is just okay. It's okay. The action, though, I'll say that action's pretty hype. It's pretty cool.
I need to go watch the Nolan films I haven't seen. I still haven't seen Interstellar.
That's like his best one.
Sure, it's
Arguably.
not Inception or The Dark Knight, or actually The Prestige.
Interstellar's up there.
Prestige, though.
Interstellar's pretty up there.
Prestige, though.
Listen, I haven't seen The Prestige, so I can't say.
Oh, The Prestige is great. That's probably my favorite Nolan film. Although I do really I watched Inception so much when I was like in school, so I has a special place in my heart. I think that's it for what I watched. Played some games. I'll kind of speed through them. I played a bit of Sid Meier's Pirates. I like that game. I did a whole session where I was playing it for a few hours, and then I got to a point where I messed up and lost everything, and I'm like, screw this whole run. I'll start over now. One day I'll actually beat that game. It's kind of like Civilization.
Someday.
One day I'll actually beat it. What a coincidence! It's made by the same guy.
Wait, you can beat Civilization? I thought everybody just gave up halfway through.
Just like The Sims. Oh yeah, that's a great game. Love it. I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Unity after all the debacle with the current Assassin's Creed. Yeah. But I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Unity, and I'm realizing this game is kind of bloated. There's too much on the map. The map is actually too big, too crowded.
Oh, kinda, just kind of
I
bloated.
feel every time I look at the map, I feel like I'm drowning. But there's some fun stuff in that game. I do enjoy it. So maybe I'll continue on that one. Maybe I'll go back and try to 100% other games. Maybe I'll just jump ahead and play some Mirage. I don't know. Assassin's Creed is my I don't want to think too much about what I'm playing. Let me just mess around in this open world.
Yeah.
And let me think. I played a bit more of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I got through Costa del Sol. It was a ton of fun, and I'm realizing I don't think I'm even halfway through this game. It's so big.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's what, the third area in the game?
Yes.
I think so. I have no clue. I am on the fourth area now. I think there are 5.
So maybe I'm getting kinda halfway through.
You're almost halfway through.
Oh my gosh.
Just keep trucking.
Game's huge. But I think I'm gonna hold that off for a bit because I'm trucking along through Baldur's Gate. I'm almost through Act 2.
There we go.
I'm in the big dungeon that I'm sure is at the end of Act 2. I already did the Gauntlet of Shar. I freaking saw the introduction of the main villain of the game, and oh my gosh, voiced by J.K. Simmons, and that's such a cool intro for a villain. Oh, that was incredible. Yeah, I did Gauntlet of Shar. I'm excited to see where Shadowheart's character goes after that. He's easily my favorite of the companion characters. I going down through that last dungeon, and boy, I had trouble with a couple fights. There was a fight with where there was a bunch of brain things, and then 3 mind flayers, and I nearly died because of the mind flayers. And then there was another fight where I was fighting against a ton of undead enemies and one undead shepherd enemy. And that one took me multiple tries before I just threw down Hunger of Hadar. And then in a choke point where they had no choice but to go through it. And then when they were going through it, I just kept knocking them back with my Warlock and dealing damage with my other 3, and then when they all started to swarm, I just had Shadowheart use Turn Undead, and then it killed them. It killed almost all of them, and then the rest were running away into Hunger of Hadar, and then they died. For such a mid-spell in actual D&D, Hunger of Hadar is amazing in Baldur's Gate. People go crazy for Cloud of Daggers, and it's great, but Hunger of Hadar has done me a ton of good. Yeah. I'm gonna continue on that. That game is a ton of fun. And I believe that is about it for what I played. I think I played Helldivers maybe once with friends. About it. Last little bit, I did go to the Scarborough Renaissance Fair.
Oh yeah,
Hey.
I forgot to bring that up. I went there twice.
Hey! Love Scarborough. So much fun.
Yeah.
Went there with some friends. Had a great time. I bought a sword from Legacy Forge, which is the place my friend who works at Scarborough highly recommends. He's bought a bunch of swords there, and I've handled them, and they're all fantastic. So I bought a sword. I asked them, "What's the cheapest sword?" And they said, "Least expensive. We don't make anything cheap." And I said, "Yeah, fair enough." And then and I was looking at curved swords, so they handed me a sword that is an early cutlass. So the blade is a lot like a regular cutlass blade, but the hilt doesn't have the full handguard on the hilt. They hadn't done that quite yet. It's beautiful, it's light, it's very well balanced. The balance is very close to the hilt, so it's very easy to maneuver. And the guy, while I was talking, I handled a bunch of their other swords, and they're absolutely gorgeous, just out of my price range. But while I was handling the sword I did get, the guy was telling me, yeah, for cutlasses they're mainly for slashing because you need to slash through ropes, rigging, nets, all that stuff. But you also want it to be short because you don't want it to be getting in the way when you're on the deck, and when you're in the mid deck, you are crouching down when you're walking. So it needs to be short enough to use there, and you can't slash in there, so it has to be able to thrust as well. By the way, when the British Navy gave you a cutlass, they cut off the tip of the cutlass because they didn't want you to mutiny. You can't use the cutlass on the mid deck. That's the British Navy for you. This is the same Navy that would grab you on shore, drag you onto a ship, and say, "You are part of the British Navy now."
Hey Zach,
Yes.
you should read The Wager. You should read The Wager.
The
I
Wager?
feel like you might get a kick out of that book. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is this about
It's
how
about-
being on the British Navy is a fun, grand time to be had?
A little bit, actually. Yes, a little bit. Yeah.
I will put that on my list. In fact, I might one day after school go grab that because I work right real close to a Barnes and Noble.
That was their book of the year last year.
Oh, I've seen this. Cool.
I actually went to a Renaissance fair relatively close by yesterday. Just like
Oh, nice.
just like a tiny little one that got started a few years ago near town. So I didn't really buy anything. I just kind of walked around and wasted an afternoon. But it was fun because I brought the bearded dragon with me, so that was fun.
Hey. I'm sure that got a lot of cool attention at the Ren Fair. Those people love those things.
Oh yeah, plenty of people. Because I also had the harness with the little dragon wings.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm like, perfect excuse to bring Norbert along. So yeah, there were 2 other people who brought their bearded dragons with their bearded wing harnesses, and we're just like, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my friends and I, we went and we actually have 2 other friends that work there, so we went and saw one of them. The other one, my friend Kevin, he's the one who got us tickets. He had some comp tickets saved up that he gave us, so saved us a lot of money because boy, the Scarborough tickets have gotten expensive.
Yeah, the fair that I went to, the tickets were like $15. Tiny little fair, but $15 tickets, can't beat that.
Nope. Yeah, we saw a couple shows. There was an aerial show that was fun. There was one of those whip guys. He had a fun show. We saw a show with this guy who does like falconry.
Oh,
So that was really cool. He had some owls there too. Love owls. He had a barn owl. I love barn owls.
nice.
My wizard's familiar in my D&D game is a barn owl. Barn owl.
Yep.
And it was a fun show. There were a bunch of times when he kind of just stopped talking about the birds and started just kind of spouting his life / kind of political opinions.
Uh-oh.
But it was fine.
The falconer guy.
Yeah, the falconer guy.
Every time, man.
Every time. Hey, he's charming enough. It's fine.
I don't know about that one.
Well, he didn't say anything too bad when I was there, so yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I didn't go see the show that whenever I went with friends. We decided to sit that one out.
Yeah, that was a fun day. And then that night we had a D&D session. That was a long day. But it was fun. D&D was a ton of fun. It was mostly a shopping session, which was fine by me because there's a lot of fun stuff there. We do have one player who's getting a little bit of main character syndrome at times. Like, I just don't like shopping sessions that much, and quit complaining. It was fun, and our DM did a real good job with it too. And I believe that is going to be it for me.
Beautiful.
Whew. Man.
Did it.
Well, thanks everybody for the updates.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm gonna go. There's a guy who's talking shit about me at work, so I think I'm gonna release a diss track about him.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Just make sure you have like 3 in the chamber so that when he releases his diss track, you can just bop 30 minutes after he releases.
That's right. That's
Pretty much.
right. I gotta turn it into the song of the summer. Just you wait, Kendrick. Just you wait.
The way you know that Kendrick won the beef was that the day Euphoria came out, it was playing in the clubs and everyone knew all the words.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
So good.
And like what was I gonna say? It reached like number 1, right? Or one of them reached like number 1.
I think Not Like Us, the
That's
latest
it.
one
Yeah.
is
Yep.
like
Oh,
the
it's
highest
doing
streaming
gangbusters.
hip hop song of like it's topping the charts, which
Which is
it's been-
hilarious for a single that has as its cover a picture of Drake's house with the pedophile
Yep.
thing on
Yep.
there, just all over.
That's all Drake's fans were saying. They
Drake
were like,
be like, I did not have sexual relations with that child.
pretty much.
I'm telling you, it's that clip from Always Sunny.
It's the receipts, man. What were you doing talking to Millie Bobby Brown?
did
What were you doing? What were you doing, Drake? What are you doing, Drake? She was 14, dude.
Don't diddle kids. No, I don't.
Have you seen the freaking wackadoodle conspiracy that's now going? There's a guy on Twitter named like Ebony something or other,
Oh, yeah.
and he's been leaking screenshots of CCTV footage with Drake in it, with like another rapper and like a guy in a wheelchair, and they've been posting the most cryptic possible messages like, "This is the day you ruined one black man's life."
Oh, is this the Riddler guy?
It's like- I have no freaking clue what he could possibly be referring to. It's like everybody's just like, dude, just release it. Stop with this game. Stop it.
Huh.
Man,
I'm excited
hip hop's a trip.
to see what comes of that. I'm sure something will happen.
You know, all it took to finally get me to give hip hop a real shot was just a beef that was freaking.
Hey, you know, it's good beef. It's
It
that
is.
good sirloin. It's that good
I mean, Hamilton certainly didn't do it. Jordan, what's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter?
Aaron, it's happening again. Zach put me in a stun lock again.
What's happening? What's the matter? Is there something wrong with Hamilton?
Oh, ow. Zach,
Come on, Jordan.
Zach,
He's a
Zach.
bastard, orphan.
Wow.
Son of a
Wow,
whore,
I did not realize that Zach somehow knew vicious mockery in real life. That did psychic damage. Ow. Oh. Shit, I can't believe they turned that into a real thing. Oh.
What, Hamilton?
No, just vicious mockery. I know Hamilton's a real thing. I know
Yeah,
Hamilton's
Hamilton is a real musical. It's on Broadway right now.
on Broadway right now. Yep.
It's almost 10
Yep.
years old, guys.
Yep. Aired on
Okay,
Broadway in 2015.
There are so many things over 10 years old. Stop it.
Oh no, it's almost 10 years old.
God,
I've been
what?
dealing with this pro-Hamilton
not real,
propaganda
that's fake.
for 10 years.
Wait, what's almost
You're
10 years?
lying.
Hamilton.
Hamilton didn't exist.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah,
dealing
I
with this
mean-
piece of pro-Hamilton propaganda for almost 10 years.
I believe the off-Broadway version is 10 years old, actually.
Probably, actually.
God. Oh my
Uh,
god. Dun, 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 dun.
Da-da-da-da.
let's see. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, no. Off-Broadway premiered back in 2015. So,
Okay.
next
We're
year,
safe. We're safe.
it'll be 10 years old.
Oh,
And then it opened on Broadway in August 6th of 2015. So it will be 10 years old next year. Oh boy.
Jordan, what are you going to do to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of your favorite musical, Hamilton?
I'm gonna stay away from that shit as much as possible. Listen, ooh, I got blocked on Spotify the other day. It was like I was listening to the DJ because I ran out of playlist to listen to, and it's like, yo, what's up? It's your Spotify DJ coming at you. So today we're gonna go back to the year 2016 with your top songs, and I was like, oh no, and I just heard the fucking dun, 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 dun. I had just made a Spotify that year because in theater they were like, "Oh yeah, Hamilton is this new show. You should watch it." And I listened to the whole. That was all I listened to on my Spotify. And so at the end of the year, I think this is before they had Spotify Wrapped, but like the whole section was just Hamilton songs, and I was like, "Oh god, oh no." Oh, it's a good show, but I think I listened to it a bit too much, and now I hate the music. I love it, but I hate it. It's it's that.
Yeah. It's a good show that has has some problems, and
Some.
it has some problems, and it's got some good stuff too.
Saying don't use that show as a history book. Don't use it in your history class.
Don't use it in your history class, please, because it is pro-Hamilton propaganda.
Oh boy. Oh no. I'm scared to click this.
Alexander Hamilton was a vital part of the American Revolution. He was brilliant. He was also a piece of crap.
This sounds like pro John Adams propaganda.
Listen, Alien and Sedition X were just one part of his presidency, man.
Aaron, what is this?
I found something. I just thought I would share it with you
What?
all.
I'll have to watch that in a bit.
Jesus Christ. Yep, this is indeed r/Kendrick Lamar. Okay. Okay. Yep.
And that's what that is. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.
And the outro. Yeah, it's 11.